Okay. First time they threw me an alert on the screen. Welcome to Allegedly Fridays, where all things said are alleged and for entertainment purposes only. So, I don't have this written down, but there's uncertainty around if P from, um, was it QC Music? Y'all give me, charge it to my head, not my heart. That he may have passed away. The last reports that I heard is that he was in ICU. So I hope that it's ICU and, he can heal and be able to, you know, be with his family. I wouldn't want to see his children lose a father so young. So I hope that P is in ICU. So, it's been conflicting reports, but I pray he's still here in the land of the living, and he's able to heal and do whatever he got to do to get back in the best health he can be in and live a lot more life. So, what I did write down, y'all, is we have Hayden Panettiere's death investigation. So, I guess, the internet is moving way more than you guys think, because enough people felt like there was something strange about how she passed. They didn't believe that it was what was initially reported, and now there's an investigation into her death. So we're going to look off into that. Um, Ebro talked about a female rapper who could possibly be obsessed with Nicki Minaj. He said he wasn't going to name who he was talking about, but is there a possibility that he could have been talking about Cardi? Malibu Mitch and her Nicki comments that she had on the Rory show, when she was talking to Rory, rather. I want to just, tap into her sincerity around that. And was she actually being messy towards Asian Doll? Because she stated that she was brought onto a song and she didn't know it was going to be a diss track. And somebody was added onto the song after she was already on the song. I believe the song was by Katie Got Bands. Either way, I could see how that would be plausible. But at the same time, it's like, this is why, female rap is so combustible, because you're put in a position where you're kind of like forced to where you have to pick a side, whether you want to or not. And I think that if this was supposed to be a diss track and Malibu didn't know, Katie Got Bands pulled a fast one. And if I was Malibu Mitch, I would be looking at Katie Got Bands sideways, because it's like you knew you were about to go drag somebody and you ain't even checked to see what my temperature was on it. You just put me in the middle of it. If this is what actually happened, because it sounds like that's what Malibu Mitch was saying. So we're gonna tap into what is Diddy's future after the Keefe D trial. Why did he need Navy SEALs for security? And was he that afraid of Suge Knight? Now, I'm asking this because if you've been keeping up with the Keefe D trial, he stated that Puffy, when he came to LA, he had he had the homie security and then he had Navy SEALs. And he alleged that, he was terrified of, Suge and Suge's reach. Now, I've been telling y'all all about Foxy all this time when it came to this case. Foxy was finally mentioned to be in the car with Eric Von Zip, who was pretty much running point on the transactions. So that would definitely be a good reason for her to be brought in to be on the stand. because now her name is officially a part of court record. So, child. Oh, thank you, Christina. Listen. Oh, I hope all of y'all seen this. I pray all of y'all seen it. If you haven't, go on over to Mobbish over here on YouTube, Milagro Grams. Please, please, please go over there if you haven't seen it. Jay-Z versus Busby. They had an appeal hearing, right? Ooh, child. I pray that Jay-Z didn't pay for that because his lawyer flip-flopped. I mean, talked in cursive, tripped over his own tongue. I mean, it was terrible. I have never seen a lawyer bomb that bad in court. Y'all, we're going to tap into why his lawyer was so terrible in court and what's to expect now that they're moving forward with this case. Will he change legal teams again? Will this be this lawyer's last time going before the court? Because y'all, I promise you, it was like watching a car accident wrapped up in a train wreck, wrapped up in a tornado that just happened to be right next door to an earthquake. I've never, ever in my life seen a lawyer do that bad in court. And then he kept contradicting himself. And he would say something and then be like, no, and re-say it, but say it in the reverse of what he already said. Oh, all I kept thinking was like, this has to be a favor. This has to be free. Like, they had to call him on like Thursday at midnight when he was leaving the bar and was like, hey, I got something for you to do in the morning. Like, he couldn't have really looked over or read anything. Is it possible? I don't know. And I got one topic I'm saving for Twitch. If you're in membership, I'm going to announce that one in Twitch. But I don't, I'm trying to see. I don't know how much time I'm going to spend on some of these. Because this Diddy one and Hayden Panettiere, those I expect to be a little longer. So let's knock out the Ebro one first. Would you say it's giving Phaedra and Cynthia win the case? Ooh, said Jay better call Tom as a lawyer. Baby, Jay better call Tyrone. I don't know who the hell he gonna call because that was atrocious. Ooh, y'all. I'm a little tired, so hopefully this coffee kicks in. Oh, thank you. Blessings to you. Let's see. Ebro, what deck do I want to use? Y'all notice how lately these stories are just so casually just sliding out? Like, we're getting stories on the slick that could literally ruin your whole career. Like, these are the type of stories that we're never supposed to hear. Like, the two top rivals in the game, and one could possibly be crashing out every week, but she's saying stuff to you behind the scenes that make you think that she's obsessed. Child, what they doing over there? Ebro, I mean, that's some Wendy Williams level type shit. I mean, put that together, y'all. Now, he ain't saying any names, but the description that he gave, he read it like it was a blind item, and he gave the inferences that would let you know it's who would be considered number one and number two. And allegedly number two is, in his opinion, like completely like strung out on number one's energy, but publicly crashes out over it. Child, that was some Long Island iced tea. I want to see how long it takes for people to catch up to what he said, because he put it out there just so slick. It's like, when you go to dinner and somebody slides the check over to you and you don't even know it until you look up and the check presenter is there and it's open. You said you don't know why Ebro mentioned it. I tell you why he mentioned it. Sometimes you got to give a foundation for a bigger story that people wouldn't be ready for and couldn't accept. So if you kind of like, warm people up, get them, acclimated with the chance that there could possibly be some juice, oh, they'll line up with just a little curiosity. And that curiosity will turn into thirst. Hey, hey, hey. Excuse me, y'all. Yeah, I don't know. Fall is starting early. My allergies are cutting up today. That's how you build a story. That's some old school gossip blog type. Ha! You said we need a little foreplay. Baby, listen, this is foreplay because he's warming you up to drop something really big later. And you're going to be like, damn, I didn't know I needed to hear that. I could have never believed if you didn't, sprinkle and pepper a little of this, and this. Like, these new men got creative, secretive ways of gossiping. I caught on to it. He gave us a little General Hospital. Little touch of Susan Lucci. One of the greatest, but never got an award until 55 years later. I caught how he slipped that in. Bro, we gonna tap into what you are actually over here saying to us, allegedly. What was Ebro really trying to tell us on the slick, but not really? Knight of Pentacles. Okay, so whoever this alleged person is, this person has been dragging on and dragging on and dragging on for a very long time. This has been going on forever. Who you say, Erica K? Yes. Lil Kim used to reference her all the time. I wonder how she actually feels about that. Lord, no time for fake ones. If you know, you know. The Emperor. Okay. So, Emperor can be, to someone that is high in authority, or the father of your children, or your father. So, So if we're talking about, people who are actual figures, like figureheads, staples, then it's like this has been going on for a long time. I mean, just on and on and on and on. And this person has been talking to people behind the scenes that are of heavy status. Seven of Pentacles, about what they invest in. So, okay, wait a minute. Now, don't tell me like you're advertising yourself through hating on somebody else, because that's what that sounds like. Like, you need to invest in me, and if you invest in me, you'll get this, and this. Wow. Eight of Cups. Five of Swords. So, this is an interesting combination, because Eight of Cups is saying that, people, or whoever these people are, they walk away from you until they hear you kick up smoke and they listen to what you say. So this is like reverse engineering marketing, okay? I don't even know if that's a term, but I'm giving it to you right now. So let's say, she may try to like make herself better than the other one, like soft pitch advertise herself. they'll give her that, okay, well, we'll look over this, we'll look over that, we'll call you, somewhere down the line, we're going to customize something for you. But instead of them calling, what they do is they walk away until this person starts to rant and rave and do the most, and then they ride the wave on the back end. So everything that she was trying to do when it comes to making money, they find a way to do it anyway off of crash outs, which means it costs them way less to, name drop or associate during that time. I don't think she's caught on to this yet, but eventually she will, because it's like she's doing so much work or product placement that she's not realizing that you're getting all this work and product placement, because they're getting it from you for what they consider to be the low. And the only reason why it's considered to be the low is because after the crash outs, they respectfully wouldn't offer a certain amount anyway, but they still want the internet traction, so they ride the waves. I hope I'm not losing anybody. Y'all, that just took me out. So pretty much they maximize their reach and their brand and their advertisement by waiting until there's a internet moment, aka possibly a crash out or drama, and then they attach themselves to her for way lower than what they would have offered her if it wasn't, a string of these moments. He said just wasted folks' times and resources. Said I'm picking up what you putting down. Okay. Child, listen, I'm trying not to laugh because that's really messed up. But I think that this person hasn't caught on to what's going on. It's like this person is more so looking at, oh, okay, well, I got this coming in and this coming in and this coming in and this coming in. And they're looking at it as volume, but it's like you have volume because they're enjoying the fact that you're lowering your brand. And every time you lower your brand, they hit the jackpot, not you. Said, do you think that every time, won't say person's name, crashes out on the internet, do you think she's pulling some kind of energy from your fans that listen? Um, that's a that's possible, but here's the thing. Um, is it pulling because it's actually helping this person to manifest, or is it pulling just because it's depressing and draining? Because if it's depressing and draining, it's literally just passing mental illness around in a circle. Like nobody's really getting anything out of it. But, getting off and just like, whew. Like you gotta be a different type of toxic to get charged up and, get excited. Hey, hey, hey. Says she feel dumb because she literally said herself, let me stop so I don't lose endorsements. But baby, you not losing them. They just paying you in crackers. Not in damn crackers. Oh my God. Yeah, Six of Cups. So you're talking about past and the Magician. So it talks about in the past it was a lot easier for her to manifest. Not that she's not manifesting, but it was a lot easier. Like it was bigger bags. It was a lot more. Um, Three of Pentacles talks about relationships and contracts. Two of Swords being cut, coming to an end. So it's like, several things that could be coming to an end in the near future for her, possibly like in the next 18 to 24 months. It's like a lot of things are going to be closing out. Circles, relationships, business, contracts, all types of things are going to be transitioning. Page of Cups, a lot of it is because there's limited communication and things are just being laid to rest or, possibly shelved because it's not much communication. Or if there's a new team, the new team doesn't really call meetings like they used to. So it's not engagement the way that it was before. Got Ten of Cups here, Ace of Pentacles. So, I mean, I would say at this point, this person should possibly start a social media show that highlights them and their family, because they spend a lot on their family and keeping things going for their family. And this is something that would bring sponsorships and all types of things in and bring money in for everybody in the family without the money having to come from this party. Sort of like what Keisha Cole did with, and this is the way it is. She was one of the first black girl reality shows ever, and everybody in the family that was a part of the show got a check. So I think this could be like a new family hustle if they were to, draft it up, put it together. I think it could work, and it would help people to shift their perception of who she is, because it's getting to the part where, it's too aggressive, too argumentative. So this will be a good shift to show like the softer side, the family side, and to show more of a comfortable life, appreciation for living an affluent life versus always, acting like you're running out of the projects and behaving like a pterodactyl. But either way, a lot of money is going to have to be spent with the family unit, especially over the next 2 years. Why is that important? Seven of Wands. We're going to see her defending herself a lot, defending a lot of the opportunities that she takes. Three of Wands. It's almost like she's going to be self-conscious about the type of sponsorship she's taking and just assume that people are shading her or looking down on her because of, the type of work she's taking. But it's like, but I hustle, I make sure I take care of my kids, I pay my bills. And it's like nobody's knocking the hustle. It's just, brand value. It's not knocking the hustle, it's brand value. It's, do you know the full extent of what your brand is worth? And if you do, then why are you taking things that are supposed to be beneath what your brand should represent? You said she's more known for going live than making music. Let's see which way we're going. Also, it looks like she might need a defense attorney for something. So she needs to really focus on just working and stay out the way, because if she doesn't, she could need attorneys, which will be very expensive. The Fool, and this is why she's not thinking when she's doing certain things. Like she's being impetuous, and she's just jumping into things to manifest without thinking them through. And on one end, yeah, you could say it's faith, but it's like, are you, treating it like, are you taking some of these opportunities like playing Russian roulette? That's what this feels like. It's like, it's like, are you rolling the dice and hoping you don't hit snake eyes? It's like just pulling a slot machine and closing your eyes and let's see what happens. It's like, you've put in enough work. Your name is big enough to where some of these things you should be comfortable not being attached to, and it should be okay. Yeah, so it's like reaching an impasse here with the hangman. Is trying to wait your way through a situation to see how things are going to turn out. Okay, with the King of Wands. So this, we know she has two King of Wands in her life. So this could either be with a divorce or with, parenting on the other end, or it could be both. Two things could be true at the same time. But I want to say it's the first, because it's like this is a situation that has been going on and dragging on for a long time. Knight of Pentacles over the Hangman. So that's like a relationship that's just crawling and crawling and crawling till it dies. Like, can't wait for this to be over type energy. Okay, so it's like everything was full steam ahead when it came to ending the situation, and then boom, it was like a destruction of the foundation that stifled whatever this is from going forward. And it talks about exposure. Now, I told y'all in the past that don't be surprised if she gets exposed by somebody in her own camp, because it's like there's some things coming pretty soon where it's going to come down to, it's better you than me type decisions. And whoever this is, it's like, hey, it's been real, but we're going to have to draw the line right here. And they're going to draw a hard line, and they're going to walk away from her, and she's going to be very in her feelings about it. Because her and this person got history. Now, this could be the sign, which could be an air sign person, or they could end up separating over a court matter. Temperance, trying to get balance through a new beginning. So if this is a court matter, then it's like trying to settle this under the table, or, outside of court, trying to go before like an adjudicator or something, so that you don't have to go into trial, and just handle it in mediation. Oh, Charm, you said you already told us about this person. Interesting. Yeah, so it's like trying to handle something through mediation, through arbitration, to keep from going into trial. And it's like, whatever this is, if we can settle this out of court and I owe something, child, I'm done with you. That's it. When it come down to my money, I'm straight on you. So it's like they could literally break apart like that. And that person said, look, I'm going to save myself. Yep, due to a judgment. This person is going to choose their stability. Four of Wands. I'm going to choose my stability. I'm going to save myself when it comes to judgment. Judgment could actually be a court judgment, or it could be, another type of legal problem. But whatever it is, it feels like a legal issue, whether it's civil or something else. It feels civil. Excuse me, y'all. It feels civil. So if this is civil and it's like, okay, we have to pay a judgment, there's a settlement, I'm straight on you. It's like you better eat this, you better pay this, because this all is because of you. Or if I gotta pay it, then I'm gonna pay you dust. That's what this feels like. Hey, hey, hey. Okay, so Three of Pentacles to the Star talks about they have hope that they can work together to settle a situation. Page of Pentacles, that's literally like starting a new venture, or looking at something with a new fresh set of eyes. Well, they got to look at it with a new, fresh set of eyes. Then that means there's a good chance you could end up paying. Yes, Page of Cups, it's like limited communication, no longer talking to each other. And it also represents the card of apology. Like, I'm sorry I even got involved with you. Like, the ultimate betrayal. I can't believe you got me into something like this. Nine of Wands, the wounded warrior. Yeah, this is going to set me back, but eventually I'm going to be good and I'm moving on from you. So, yeah, baby, this is about to be real heartbreaking, aka nice, nasty, because somebody is going to be very upset that they're facing judgment attached to a situation with this person when it comes to what feels like a family matter. Yep. Whatever this is attached to a family matter, is it brings nothing but burdens. Burdens so heavy you can't get out of, where you just say, okay, well, I'll accept a settlement, or, you know, make some kind of agreement or take a plea. But it's like you're not getting out of this situation without giving up something. So it's like, okay, well, you know, let's format this and see where we can meet and find, you know, a number and just be done with it. Five of Pentacles. Yeah, this person is hella defensive because they could lose everything. Nine of Pentacles. You're the one that's going to be okay when this is over with, but I'm going to lose everything, even the shirt off my back. I'm going to be ass out. So, yeah, I see why they defensive now, because it's like you got me caught up in something that could take every penny I got. Yep, and this happened fast. Feel like it came out of nowhere. Knight of Cups. Accepted an offer, something that came in fast. And it's like now you want to accept an offer to handle this under the table. Try to keep this from messing up your brand. Even see if you could get somebody to sign something to keep them from disparaging your brand afterwards. Because it's like your brand is going to struggle for a minute before you can bounce back. Yep. This cycle is going to end with someone owing somebody a lot of money. Yep, this is the end of the relationship, death. No longer taking any offers to work with you, and this feels like taking, you know, a settlement offer to close something out, and that's it. Relationship over. So that's interesting. We got a lot out of Ebro that he didn't say, allegedly. See how that works when you just plant a seed and it can grow, and then you come back to it later and say, wait a minute, so that's what that was. Wow. The way these guys doing this new age snitching is lovely. You can't tell that they snitching until they come back and build a story, and it looks like it's just regular news that they just happen to be reporting, and then they go back and remind you of an inference that came up and they didn't know it just happened to be related to the story. I mean, I get it. To me, it's some master class media training if you pay attention. Create a demand and then supply it. You get paid on both ends. So now we're gonna do Malibu Mitch and her comments on Nikki and if she was being messy towards Asian Dow. Let's clear this table, y'all, so I can change the deck. Let's see what y'all saying. All righty. Malibu Mitch, Malibu Mitch. Now, I find her story interesting because, y'all, I didn't even know her and Cardi had an I'm outside moment. Now, I don't know where I was at, but, you know, to know that there were words exchanged, and then Cardi said she outside, and then Mitch had to pop up and go outside. And it's in my mind, I'm like, what were y'all doing outside? What happened? Because, I mean, it couldn't have been much because I don't remember it. Like, would y'all just show up and do a staring contest? Like, what happened? Said they definitely did. It was in between her calling JT a lapdog. Okay. So what was the end result? Like, did she roll up and go off on her? Like, what happened? Okay, I'm seeing people say they remember when it happened. Y'all, I'm lost on this one because it's like y'all went outside and did what? Okay, nothing happened. And see, that's why if I heard about it, that's probably why I don't remember. Said none of them did anything because Malibu said Cardi pulled up 3 hours later. Wait a minute. Not the brim showed up 3 hours later. Whoo, child. Oh, we going back to snails on crutches. Ah! Wait a minute. Whoo, child. What? You showed up 3 hours later talking about I'm outside. Child. Cardinal, don't you ever threaten nobody else again if it took you 3 hours to get outside. Your house is in Jersey. She in the Bronx, so she at least, Midtown. It don't take that long to get from Jersey to New York. Where were you at for 3 hours? Oh, my Lord. Oh, child. You said on top of that, I think Cardi showed up at a different street. Wait. No. Wait a minute. Not 3 hours late. And you on the wrong damn street. Please tell me this ain't true. Please. Please tell me this is not true. Oh, Lord have mercy. Like, girl, you outside, but where? What you say? Cardi had on the bonnet and night clothes all yelling and talking about pull back up. Girl, pull back up. I could be in a whole nother city by now. Ray J shit right there. That is that Ray J shit. That is like, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute, y'all. Y'all remember Ray J had that hat? And that bitch was like, every scene, the hat was in a different spot. That's that damn Ray J shit right there. Not you come 3 hours later on the wrong damn street and say come back outside. Like, see what I mean about you need to, this child need a reality show. Cause I promise you on everything, that is some reality TV bullshit. Oh my God. Now, what would she have done if Malibu actually caught her ass outside and she had to really get outside for real? How you go cosplay going outside? I cannot. Oh, oh, child. I mean, at this point, did you have binoculars and you were like 2 or 3 streets back? I think she leaving. I think she leaving. Okay, I'm gonna go in here shopping, and you call me when she gone. Oh, oh, child. Oh, Lord. I keep laughing this hard. My fupa will literally fall off. What the hell is going on? That's even funnier than the fact that I was trying to see if Malibu was being messy with Asian Doll. My God, I don't even care anymore because this right here is way better. Oh, shit. What you say on brim, but not really? Oh, my God. Whew. Whew, okay, I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm back. Show me the energy between Malibu Mitch and Cardi. Oh, child. Ooh. Only fight she had that whole entire day was with an aggressive pothole. Oh, my God. Show me Malibu Mitch and Cardi. Oh, Lord Jesus. Oh, Lord Jesus. Oh. Okay. So somebody felt betrayed and yet ghosted. Oh, my Lord. Oh, my Lord. Oh, Jesus. This is stupid, y'all. I just want y'all to know that. You know, if I could put it on the screen right now for y'all to vote, is this a valid beef or is this stupid? Like, okay. So you got the Ten of Swords and you got Judgment. And what that lets me know is Malibu was actually going to regulate. And I think Cardi may have felt that or known that. So we need the extra street lights. Oh, child. Oh. The street lights and the curb. Like, curb, what happened? You know, you be having all the word. So yeah, it looks like Malibu was like, oh, you called me out. You said we outside. Well, I mean, shit, it's gonna be what it's gonna be. Judgment. Guess we gotta get it on the floor. You called me out. I ain't want to, but bitch, I'm outside. Let's go. Oh my gosh. So the moon, not knowing what to expect, really wasn't paying as much mind or wasn't going to put much off into it. So that tells me that Malibu didn't know that Cardi wasn't going to take this situation serious. She wasn't really invested in it, you know, the way that she was. Like, she really went out there on some G shit, and Cardi went out there on some I'm still on love and hip hop type. Oh, God. Yeah, Five of Pentacles. It's like this was fruitless. Nothing was going to come out of this opportunity. So Cardi already popped all that shit and was never gonna pull up anyway. That's what this is saying to me. Whew, said Cardi gave the excuse that she was watching her novellas. Child, you should have been outside making one. So you got the Empress, right? Which is mother energy, or would bring something into fruition. So it's like, fall. She feels like she could always fall back on the idea or the, you know, umbrella rather of motherhood, and I make all this money. It was like, I make too much money to be doing this, that, and the other, and I'm a mother. It seems like that was part of the defense. So she never was going to actually get in the paint. This is so stupid. Yeah, it was a gamble from the beginning. So y'all, she took a chance. She didn't expect Malibu to actually buy them wolf tickets and show up to a sold out performance. Yeah, this was this feels like this was just to manifest in the algorithm. This wasn't supposed to be real. She didn't expect Malibu to actually say, oh, so we outside? Okay, well, bitch, we outside then. Ooh, child. Yeah. And Malibu didn't come deep either. The hangman. She pulled up and waited because the hangman is waiting. What's the results? What's going on? She didn't pull up deep. This wasn't no crew deep situation. She didn't know what she was walking into, but she ain't come, all aggressive. She came like, we gonna handle this. We gonna handle this. I actually got respect for Malibu because it's like, she like, look, I ain't even want to do you like that, but I mean, if you gonna take it there, then I'm outside. And I ain't got to go and get no whole crew of people. We gonna do what we came to do. Damn. I like Malibu for that. The strength card. She had every thought, like, I'm going to dominate this situation if we get out here. The 9 of Wands, the wounded warrior, like, pretty much like, I'm going to drag the shit out of you. I already know I got the upper hand. Now she says she conditioned for war. 300 Leonidas. Yeah, it's like I would prefer to just walk away from a toxic situation. But the fool, if you willing to jump off the porch, I'm willing to jump off the porch. I choose peace over violence, but if you show up violently, then I'm going to do what violent people do. I mean, it sounds like it makes sense to me, y'all. So we got the world here. So she, the wounded warrior, she waited. Nothing came out of this. And even that ended up being a betrayal. Because it's like, okay, so you played in my face. I showed up for what? That actually made Malibu want to whoop her ass even more because you got judgment that comes after that. And it's like, she realizes like you used me, for optics. You played with me publicly. This was some old cat and mouse shit. You weren't going to never be about it. So I don't think she'll ever say that publicly, but she realized that she played her and used her for a narrative to trend. She was never going to take this serious for real. Yep. Justice and the 10 of Cups. It's like, up until this, it's like, I treated you cool. I looked at you like family, but I'm straight on you. This is even looking like, you the type that, if you did pull up, you would call the police. It's like, that's how she looking at her. Yep, the Star and the Knight of Pentacles. She was like, look, you call me. The Star is, I had hoped that you was going to show up, but this shit dragged on and dragged on and dragged on. I mean, I waited. I knew I was going to end up, you know, win, lose, or draw. I was going to get the best of you one way or the other. You was going to feel me. You was going to know I was here. But the Moon, the mystery, like, what the hell is going on? And then the Five of Pentacles, it's like, I ain't getting nothing out of this. This was a waste of time. Damn. Straight from the comment section, because I would have never knew to look into this. Yeah. So the Death card is like, okay, a situation has to transition, not knowing what to expect out of it, but like pretty much like me and you would never be cool. You know, she stayed in her head a lot about this afterwards. It was like, you know, why would she even play with me like that? And it feel like she pulled up with the intention of like, look, it's gonna be what it's gonna be, and you know, we gotta go to jail. I already got my bail money. It is what it is. So yeah, it's like this happened real quick, all for nothing. The Chariot, it was like it was on go, but it's like I'd rather move on because you not really like that. You not about that. Thank you, Bratz Girl. Said make sure you like the live. Yeah, Seven of Cups. This is like the confusion around the situation. Like, you know, somebody is like, you know, I deserve an apology for the confusion around this situation and how it came into um, fruition, because the Empress also talks about how a situation has been created. What the hell is... Y'all, these are these spam text messages. Yeah, Four of Cups. So it's like she sees her as two-faced, it is wishy-washy. So it's like, nah, I'm straight on you. I don't want nothing to do with you because I like dealing with real people, people that I can actually gauge where they're coming from. It's like she wants to just focus on her work, but it's like this also affected her work. Why did this affect Malibu Mitch being able to work? So you got the Queen of Cups here, which Malibu Mitch, y'all said that she's a Pisces. I get that she stays in her head a lot. She analyzes, she reanalyzes, sometimes maybe overanalyzes because she could be sensitive. But when she makes up her mind about something, it's definitely locked in. So when she feels how she feels, it's a wrap. Because it seemed like it takes her a while to get to that conclusion. Seven of Pentacles. This talks about, you know, being careful what you invest in, so you can control the harvest. And also what goes around comes around. And it's like this falling under the Six of Swords. She don't want to be bothered with toxic situations. She'd rather refrain from beefing. So it's like I'd rather be a lover, not a fighter. But if you call me to pull up, I'ma sensitively beat your ass. So it seems like she's a sensitive gangster, a thug with a heart. Said Malibu isn't a new rapper. She was blackballed by the Camel from her Def Jam deal. Oh, I still listen to Give Me Some Money. Was it Give Her Some Money? I think that's what it's called. That Give Her Some Money stays in my rotation. I wondered, you know, after that song, why she wasn't trending more. So that definitely makes sense. Because Give Her Some Money was hot. So I'm a Pisces too. I overthink like a motherfucker. Yeah, that's what this is. Like she will evaluate and reevaluate and over-evaluate. But when she finally makes up her mind, she's strong in her decision. It's like, oh, okay, it is what it is. I'm done. Yep, Six of Pentacles. It's like she's just like, give me equal reciprocity. Let's be upfront and honest with how we deal with each other. I give you what you give me. So this is another reason why she's so sensitive, because it's like, oh, okay, well, I didn't give you that kind of energy, but I could surely match it. And here we go. Definitely match it. It's on go. You can rock with me, lover, or it's on go. It ain't no in between. But with the Knight of Pentacles, it feels like Cardi may have come at her more than once, and she may have not been sure. Like, was that shade? Maybe I'm overthinking. And, she may have tried to shade her before on the low or on the slick, and she didn't react to it. So, when you got it in your mind that somebody could allegedly be messing with you, and you're not sure if that person is messing with you, and then they finally send a direct shot, it's like, I knew it this whole time. You've been trying me. And that's what this feels like. So when she pulled up, it's like, I really need an understanding, because where is this coming from? This ain't the first time you tried me. This is just the most direct. This is the energy that I'm getting. And it's like you popped out and you said this to the internet, but why you ain't say nothing to me? Yeah, why you ain't say nothing to me? The High Priestess, I ain't know nothing about this shit. Like, let's get down to business. Let's talk about the truth. So I see Malibu to be truthful in what she was saying. It's almost feel like testimony. Which it kind of makes Cardi look strange, because it's like, are you orchestrating beef with people to trend? Or do you organically have problems with people? Like, because if you're orchestrating beef to trend, are you going after people that you feel don't have big enough reach, that don't have a big enough fan base? Because that way it makes it more of an easy win. Because that would be cowardly if that's really a thing. Because what happens if the underdog wins? What happens if the underdog, regardless of their fan base numbers, actually is more charismatic, more well-liked, more talented than you, and your own fan base is like, damn, I gotta give it to her. That bitch dope. That would be messed up, because you're introducing people to somebody that they may not know anything of, and now here it is. You've introduced this person to a whole new fan base. They're making more money, and now that the iron is hot and people's eyes are on them, they can pull an all-star JR, drop a disc, and go viral, run up 1 million views right quick, which to you 1 million views might not mean nothing, but 1 million views means something to a record label that look at this artist and say, damn, they win 1 million in like less than 24, 36 hours. That's somebody we can invest in, because I see that they on the come up. They doing this consistently. So now if you battle this person and this person run it up and they got 2, 3, 4 million view videos, now they're your competition. So why would you build your competition is all I'm saying. You keep calling people irrelevant, but you giving them, your energy, making them relevant, which makes them trend and makes their brand bigger. And you say, Amaretta let Lotto hijack, not Atlanta. Which is funny, because ain't she from outside of Atlanta? Well, she lives outside Atlanta. We know she's from Ohio, but it's like Clayco is not Atlanta. So that's counter proving Amaretta's point. Said she wants to overpower those girls the same way Nikki overpowered her. She knows she can't play with Nikki like this, talking about we're not peers. Well, here's the thing. Did Nikki overpower her or could she compete? Because, see, it's a difference between somebody overpowering you and you not being on the level to compare. That doesn't mean that she's not getting numbers. It doesn't mean that they're not making money. But when it comes down to it, can you compete and can you compare? You still got your own lane, so it don't matter. You're going to make your money anyway. But do you have the skill set and the charisma to step up here with Nikki and hang with her for more than a feature, like literally song for song, album for album, discography overall, ticket sales? Can you do this consistently? I don't know too many that can, and I'm not even talking about women. I'm talking about overall, like men as well. Nikki's in a category where the girls literally are not on her level because the only ones whose numbers are higher than hers are male rappers and like Taylor Swift or Sabrina Carpenter. Like, they're not where Nikki is. Nikki is bringing hip hop into pop and mainstream music. A lot of those girls will never be accepted in top 40 radio platforms to where, they play you in malls, they play you, in arenas and things like that. So that's my thing. It's like, pound for pound, where is the level of competition? Like, just, let's just be fair. Said Nikki hasn't even updated all of her certifications. She's much further ahead than people realize. I can believe that. I can definitely believe that. You said her verse was about her being from Clayton County. I thought so. I'm like, but like I said, it proved Amaretta's point. So yeah, we've got going in a different direction. King of Pentacles. Yeah, yeah, it's a lot of drama that's about to happen like in the next 18 to 24 months overall. But this is actually going to put a good light on Malibu Mitch because people are going to see her more as humble and they're going to want to start working with her again. Show me Malibu Mitch from now on out. Queen of Cups. So it looks like she's really a sweet girl. The Hermit, she stated herself, she really don't mess with nobody too much. So it's like, it feels like she's been cut off from like getting a deal or from the majors. That feels like blackballed. Is she blackballed? She's coming out of a very hard time. Ten of Wands. She does have people that actually love her sound. So expect a resurgence from Malibu Mitch, but it does look like somebody put her in a position to be blackballed. And it's like you're going to see her come in and out. It may not stick when it comes to like industry standards stick, like top 40, but she's going to do very good as an independent. Because here it is, Ace of Coins. As an independent, she's straight. And a lot of times independents either make more money or they keep more of the money they make, which in the long run is making more money because it's less hands in the pot. So whatever comes in is pretty much going to the artist for the most part. I expect to see her in more collaborations. More up and coming artists definitely are going to work with her. So you're going to see her, pick up and work. Interesting. All the girls are outside right now. Tanashi is dropping what feels like EDM world music. Bia just dropped another one. So, Four of Swords, it's like she took some time off. But it seems like it was something shady that happened. Here it is. So I gotta say allegedly, okay, allegedly, an air sign pulled a fast one behind the scenes, and this is why she had hard times working or being able to get, work at a certain level. Said she named Fat Foxy as her biggest inspiration. And said I can hear it when she raps. Yeah, I could definitely hear her on the Foxy wave for sure. She sounds like Foxy is her inspiration. Like when I think about it, even that Give Her Some Money, that's something I could hear Foxy on. Said she spoke about a deal she struggled to get out of for some years. Not Tyrone T. Talking about call him. There you go. Haven't seen you in a minute. Well, it looks like she's going to start to get more work, but somebody slick blackballed her. And whoever it was an air sign. Now, ain't that about nothing? Said my point about Amaretta's, who's independent artist. Lotto was promoted for Not Atlanta verse. Amaretta in Atlanta ushered Lotto. No, I get your point. But see, here's the bigger picture. No matter whose face they put on it, Amaretta is the one that get paid because it's her song, especially if she's the one that has the majority of the writing credits. So if anything, she used Lotto's energy and her brand to push the song in places it wouldn't have went, which got her the same result, even though she's the smaller artist. And in my opinion, the better artist. I would put my money on Amaretta any day before Lotto. But that's just me. Said, but always acting like the victim, but always behind the scenes doing stuff. It seems like it allegedly, but looks like Malibu's coming out of that, what seems like silent hate train. And expect to see her do more interviews and to see her get out here and get more work done. Because the one thing about putting people in positions where you mess their money up, you can't guarantee that that's going to last forever. And one thing for certain, and two things are for sure. Energy that you give out does come back to you when you least expect it. See what y'all talking about. You said Amaretta runs circles around Lotto. I definitely believe it. Said the empty wagon makes the loudest noise. Said y'all nobody cares about Scratch Out. Said Malibu was on Def Jam, Rough Riders, and Atlantic Records at some point. Malibu's hard. I gotta give it to her. And I like that her flow, her whole cadence, her voice is different. Like it's raw, it's aggressive, but it's still feminine. I think she's a good mix of what it takes to make a female artist and MC. Not every female artist is an MC. I give her, that type of credit. And she, can still balance that with her femininity, not just, sex appeal. Because everybody that comes out and gives you sex appeal doesn't necessarily give you femininity. So she is definitely a good balance for that. Okay. Jay-Z's legal team flop. Ooh, child. Says she ate her verse on Nicki's song because I didn't listen to her, but I was impressed. Like, she's a dope artist. Y'all, let's get off into Jay-Z's legal team. Let me find his deck because I want to read his lawyer and his deck, which usually, this deck is only used for him. Yeah, she's definitely an MC. Said, I think Malibu would be better with her authentic voice. I don't like the deep tone. I like her either way because I'm going to tell you something. the average person couldn't do that without hurting their vocal cords, and she does it without a hitch. Keeps full breath control and everything. Now, what I do want to know about is what you just said right there. Said the horse hijacked Malibu's letter to my ex. I want to know about what's the energy between the horse and Malibu, because at one point in time they were like this. They were real cool. And then next thing you know, the horse ends up dressed up like Taylor Moon. And I said, wait a minute, when did she start wearing these anime type outfits and little hairdos? Because that was Malibu Mitch's thing. Because for those of y'all that don't know, Malibu is also Asian. Said I wasn't laughing at his lawyers because what the fuck did I expect more? All of us expected more. That was, child, that was something that was just out of this world. Said I love her verse on Bree Runaway's song Gucci. Wish Nicki would have worked with Bree by now. You never know. You know Nicki keep her ears to the street. She listen to y'all. Said Malibu had to fake drinking around the horse too. And it's not said I forgot they were cool. Yeah, they were cool. And then it was like it was a hard switch up. And I didn't notice it was a switch up until I realized that, okay, there we go, Vietnamese and Filipino. Thank you for giving us the actual ethnic makeup of Malibu Mitch. She is Black, Filipino, and Vietnamese. Y'all, I sat there and I'm like, why is this girl dressed up in cosplay clothing? Because that was literally Malibu Mitch thing. Like if you saw Malibu Mitch back in the day, you knew that that was how she dressed. That was her whole, aesthetic at one point in time. And it's like Megan started to dress that way, and then next thing you know, she walked into Mamushi, and no sooner as she did Mamushi, that whole thing was over. But you took this whole aesthetic from Malibu Mitch, and that was really her tapping into her her ethnicity, excuse me. So I wonder what happened between them that even brought the divide in the first place. Because Malibu kept it playing. She kept it quiet. She didn't take it to the internet. We didn't hear any, rumblings between the both of them. But it was like the silence was deafening. The silence was really loud between them and awkward, because it's like, wasn't she just cool with her? What happened? Says Sailor Moon never been a giant, so I don't know why Bigfoot tried it. Ooh, child. Well, maybe she didn't know all the Dragon Ball Z characters, child. I don't know. Oh my goodness. Who said I still remember when she poured that drink out in the plant? Not the plant had to drink the Hennessy. Lord have mercy on me. Got drunk ass plants over there too. The plants can't even be sober, allegedly. Oh, let's tap into the Camel's lawyers. Oh, oh my God. Oh, Lord have mercy. You come in a rubber tree plant leaning on the wall looking for a stand back. How you got plants taking stand backs? Allegedly for entertainment purposes only. Whew. Child, the first card jumped out acting nervous like his lawyer. So he talks about a wish fulfillment. Well, I guess the reading is grand opening, grand closing. It might as well just be over. Here we go. Wish fulfillment that the lawyer had when they came into court. The tower. Nothing went their way. This going to court completely dismantled the foundation of them getting this wish fulfillment. Well, tell me more about the wish fulfillment. How did it completely destroy the wish fulfillment? I said I saw the plant was leaning once when she poured it. Oh my gosh. Four of Pentacles. So they feel like they got breadcrumbed. But it's like they were very, very stubborn because it's like they just knew they had this opportunity in the bag. Why were they so haughty about this going in their direction? Now she was hoping she could grow her own Hennessy trees and never had to pay for it again. I'm done. The High Priestess and the Queen of Wands. So Queen of Wands in this situation represents a high level of recognition, the person of interest, and secret. So this person got to conceal their identity. That was another thing. Okay, there we go. So they wanted to expose the identity of this young lady, which was going to help them to make an adjust this case. But it looks like she gets to continue to conceal her identity. Because the High Priestess to the Queen of Wands is like they were going to plaster her face everywhere. But they said no. The Moon, hold on. Is this two cards stuck together? Yes, it is. Yeah, they were trying to heal and rectify a situation, cover up them little tarot titties. Keep certain things quiet, keep certain things secret. It's like, child, they had no idea what was going to happen. The Lust card. This was the prime focus. It's like they wanted to keep the lust part, or what felt like the description of lust, quiet. So it's like they wanted something to not go on the record. And they were even thirsty about it. Not the plant was looking depressed as fuck. Said I got secondhand embarrassment for the lawyers. I don't even know what comes after secondhand, but I guarantee you I got it. So Six of Pentacles and the Empress. They wanted to pretty much expose the, how this came into fruition so that they could get some money, or it was a lot of money that was spent. It feels like there's more information that is yet to come out. Busby hasn't even begun to start toying with them yet. And I think the lawyers underestimated what, Busby actually has, or what he brings to the table. That they were about to put the beehive on that girl. Child. So you got the the Princess of Wands. So you got the Queen of Wands already on the table, which is the grown woman. The Princess of Wands is when she was a teenager. She was a minor. Six of Swords. They definitely wanted that off the table because that's the darkest part of this case. So it's like if we can get that off the table, then we can move forward towards victory. But it seems like they weren't able to get that part thrown out. It's still a gray area. And yeah, the Emperor. Like, to her, when you look at this, the Princess of Wands and the Emperor, it's like, here it is. This was a young, precocious girl. And not only were you grown and old enough to possibly be her father, you are a very strong figure in the community, the music community. So it's like they wanted to show how this person could be very intimidating to a young girl, because this isn't just a regular adult. This is an adult that controls a lot of things and a lot of people. Five of Swords. They wanted that to come out as conflict of interest or conflict of communication, and they weren't able to get that off the table. Hey, Princess Pooh. Said, yo, Busby is not playing with them. I told y'all he the John Wick of law. They completely underestimated him, calling him an ambulance chaser and talking about cheap suits. Child, they better leave that man alone. Three of Wands. Yeah, they thought that this was going to be their ships coming in. This was going to be like the holy grail of this case. And if they got this to work, everything was going to be like, butter on hot toast, taking candy from a baby. It was like this was the biggest thing that needed to be taken off the table. The Queen of Cups. But it's like the judges followed their intuition. They tapped into not just their legal knowledge, but Austin, damn. Not who the hell is a beautiful slut? A beautiful suit. See, that's that gummy. Beautiful suit. Lord, I was wrong for that. Beautiful suit. He said beautiful suit. No sluts were harmed or in the comments the comment section or in the commentary before I read the comment. We apologize to the slut community. You weren't involved this time. It was beautiful suits. Yes, beautiful suits. You said, but Jay-Z has a history with minors, though. Aaliyah, Foxy, Beyonce, Mary Tia Marie, Rihanna, and that we know of. We have to say allegedly, but I've heard a lot of what you just said, allegedly. Beautiful suits. That's what he said. Beautiful suits. I bet it was some beautiful sluts there, though. I guarantee it. Allegedly. But the judges followed their intuition and they tapped more into their emotional IQ and not just their legal IQ. And this ended up dragging and dragging and dragging out, and this lawyer was not prepared for the cross-examination or the inquisition to go this way. Oh my God. Sometimes I troll my damn self. Ooh. All right, let's get back to laughing at his lawyers. So, Queen of Pentacles and the Sun. Y'all, this case is going to expose some things with an earth sign woman as well. Child, when I say just keep catching strays, my God, how many strays is this woman going to catch between now and 2027? This is going to be like Melrose Place meets Dynasty, meets Dallas, meets Love and Hip Hop. Every few weeks, and then every other day, this woman is going to keep catching strays. And the strays are going to come in exposure. So something's going to come out in this case between Jay-Z and Busby that's literally going to knock her off her axis, because it's like she doesn't know this information. But when she finds this information out, she's going to find it out like we did with the public. Like it's literally going to come out on in court on a docket, and it's going to knock her completely over. Damn. Go check on y'all girl. Make sure they got on nice suits. Yeah, the devil. This is going to put her in a dark place. Like, she's going to really have issues with, like, anxiety, depression, obsessing over a situation, because something in the situation, the Chariot. Y'all, this is going to end up involving law enforcement when it's all said and done, and it's going to involve some very prominent water signs that are connected to them. One in particular that she doesn't expect to hear certain information about. And it's going to be one of those things to where this is not anything that you can turn the narrative on in social media. You can't drop a song. You can't come out and read slow and call it the documentary. There's nothing that you can do PR-wise that's going to make this better. Sugarcane said you said this one before. Well, it feels like the time is near, honey. And when it comes, it's going to happen really, really fast. Ace of Pentacles, and it's going to be right there on that money. Okay? This is something to where you could take it, you can literally take this to the bank and cash it. This is real. And it's going to come out on the dockets. Oh, shit. Now, I see why they want to bury this situation, the death card, because this has to do with adult activities and carnal things, and possibly having proof of some type of adult activity due to, let's say, things that could be found in your DNA markers. Okay? So let's say a person said they never did anything, but if you do a blood test, you'll see something in that person's blood and something in this person's blood, and you'll find out where the original sequence came from. Child, if this is what I think this is, this person is done, because if they can do blood work and find a sequence in between the both of you, there's no way you can say you didn't do something. Now, I gotta say everything I'm saying is alleged and for entertainment purposes, but if I was Busby and I knew I was holding that type of smoking gun, I'd let you cut a fool too, because once I drop that on the table, that's the trump card. You can't deny it. All you can do is pay up. Six of Pentacles. And you would rather go to arbitration and pay secretly in arbitration, which is what Busby tried to do in the beginning. Let's meet, mano y mano. We sit down, we talk, we chop it up. Here's what we got. You come up with a number. We'll sign this. It'd be an NDA attached to it. Nobody can mention anybody, and you got a new life. And you keep your anonymity. There we go. But you go to court, and there's some kind of physical evidence that you don't know that somebody got, it automatically is an implication, not just for one thing, but for multiple things. Wow, Frida. Said, Angel, do you remember Diddy inviting, I want to say that's David Chase, to the MTV Movie Awards, to their white party, and then Jay-Z, she died. She was just in the ring. Y'all, this man don't know what Busby got. I'm going to tell you that right now. We have to remember that Busby was brought in from, I want to say, the Ava Law Group, if I'm not mistaken, to help partner in looking over 120 cases that were attached to Diddy, where he found Jay-Z to be a commonality within this information that he found. There's no telling what he found in that information. What if what I'm saying was found in that information, and what he wants to do is test that against this and see if it matches? Because if it matches, then it shows that there is a circle, okay? And it has been going on for a while. But it's definitely something that they don't expect, and this is another situation that they should have stayed out of court. Six of Pentacles. Six of Pentacles. Four of Wands. Yeah, this is the type of money you give somebody that gives them stability for the rest of their life. Why? Lust at the bottom of the deck. Child, this is like you should have paid this person off because it's proof that you may have done something allegedly that you had no business doing. And because it was so long ago, you don't remember. So, you know, I'm trying not to be, I got to watch my words. Let's say this young girl may have kept clothing. Okay? And you don't know that that clothing may have been tested. Y'all remember like Lewinsky kept the dress in the closet? That's right, Austin. Alleged stained clothing. There's something that, you know, is definitely secretly on the table that they don't know is going to be publicly on the table. And she may not have thought to do this, okay, because this is a young girl. She may not have been the one that thought to do this, but would have an adult thought to do this for safekeeping at a later time? What if they never thought that they were going to find that time? Because it's like, I can't afford the type of lawyers that will go up against this person. But if there ever is a day that I need to protect my family, I got this over your head. And not only do I have this over your head, you don't know where it's at and who has access to it and who could drop it if something was to happen to such said parties. Just a thought. Queen of Swords. Y'all see how this Queen of Swords took her sword of truth and off with his head? She's victorious. It looks like what this girl is saying is the truth. And y'all, it's something about her, the way she's calibrated, it feels like it's hard to lie. Like she doesn't have the either the mental capacity to structure a lie, if that makes sense. It's like she would be a very terrible liar. So even if she tried to lie, she would be a very terrible liar. It's like there's a mental impediment, I hope I'm saying that right, that doesn't give her the ability to be strategic enough to lie. Said autistic, possibly. I don't know, but there's something that doesn't allow her to have the filter. Like she doesn't have the capacity to stream the thoughts and then pick what she wants to say. It's like everything comes out like a river of information. And I guarantee you this is documented. This is not something to where you find this out in interrogation if you ask her a question. It's like it's something that's documented. Like there could be a TBI or something, but it doesn't allow her the ability to be strategic enough to lie. It's almost like it would be too troubling for her to lie because it would throw her off. It could cause headaches. It could cause, you know, I don't know if it's a seizure. Like it could cause like a medical issue because it would stress her out to try to come up with a lie. This will make sense down the line. Put a pin in this and come back. Put a pin in this and come back. Because when she gets ready to testify, I feel like there has to be accommodations. And if there's accommodations, come back and say, Angel, you remember when you said that there has to be accommodations? Come back and let me know if they have to give special accommodations to her when she testifies due to her having like elevated stress levels where it could cause her a health issue. Okay, she said she's got a brain injury. Not all TBIs are the same. Not all TBIs are the same. Hers is severe. It's like the energy that it would take would stress her out so bad that she could have a health emergency. Just come back and let me know when they go to trial if you see that there has to be special accommodations, because with these special accommodations it's also going to prove that she doesn't have the dexterity to be able to come up with a complex lie, because it's something that would take too much out of her to do. Seven of Cups. Yeah, it's like it wouldn't be hard to cause her confusion. And see, here it is. You got this emperor, this very powerful person, not just a person old enough to be her father, but this very powerful figure who may have given her an illegal substance. Seven of Cups talks about being inebriated, drinking pills, something. Somebody may have given her a drink or given her multiple drinks, something she wasn't supposed to have. And because she already has an issue, it made her an easy target because she's already in a position to where she has reduced capacity. I'm trying to be as respectful as possible. But when you have somebody that has diminished capacity and then you give them a drink, it's literally like taking candy from a baby. Said me and my mom both have high functioning autism, and this is so true. The smallest things stress us to the point that we get migraines. Okay. So it feels like hers is elevated, like she could literally have a medical emergency. Said I'm finna find which interview that was that she did. I did remember we were talking about it with Millie, and what she said was saying that it was said that she suffers from a mental disability, possibly due to that. Whatever this is, y'all, she can't handle the high levels of stress. So them coming to her house is a different type of anxiety. It's almost like you could cause her a panic attack that could cause her to go to the hospital. Like she could have palpitations that could really cause her to feel like she's having a heart attack. So it's not like the average person that would see that and get scared and be like, oh my God, and they tell somebody and eventually they calm down. Like this could cause her a very serious medical emergency. Thank you, Princess Pusa. Angel is just amazing how she would pick up on something like that. Well, my gift is not in the cards. I'm a seer first. I'm a medium first. I'm telling you what I feel. I can literally feel frontal cortex. Something's wrong here, like possible scar tissue or tightening in this area, and it affects her thought process, her ability to have deductive reasoning. So when you have somebody that has an issue with deductive reasoning due to a severe TBI and you give them a substance, it's really sad because she was already an easy target. So you take her from being an easy target to not being in control at all because she already has a deficit. She may have even been picked because somebody realized that she was different or, seemed to be a little delayed. It's like she may have been chose because of that reason. You said yes, when you have autism, it affects how you react to social reaction. It gives you anxiety. You don't mind eye contact, and sometimes you freeze up. Okay. So that makes sense about why they have to make special accommodations for her on the stand, because I feel like it literally could cause a medical emergency, like a panic attack that can turn into her being hospitalized. And I'm not talking about, okay, we'll take a little Valium. I mean, like in the hospital for like a few days or something, until they can get the heart to beat normal. Like this could shut her body down. I've never seen like something this severe, but it could literally shut her body down. Said dad said she was lying because he can get in trouble for dropping her off there. I think the parents were selling her to these celebrities, if you know what I mean. We got to say allegedly, but I wouldn't be surprised because she called, the story is she allegedly called her dad to pick her up from a gas station where she was dropped off. As a parent, what the hell would you be doing at a gas station by yourself in the middle of the night? I didn't even know your friend brought you out here. Where is your friend? I'm calling your friend's parents. Who brought you here? I'm calling the police. It's like there's so many other steps that should have happened if your, 13, 14-year-old child is out in the wee hours of the night at a gas station far, far, far away from home. How the hell did you get there and who dropped you off here? I need answers. Somebody got to tell me something. We shaking the whole streets. It's like none of that happened, and it's like, why not? The why not feels like everybody had to, kind of sweep something under a rug so they didn't end up, like this. Because at 13, and you have, what feels like a frontal cortex brain injury, you mean to tell me you let a special needs child just run amok? Like regular children, you should know where they're at, but a special needs child, you're not overprotective of a child that has a deficit? That just seemed crazy to me. You got the Hermit. Saw her by herself, Three of Wands, decided to take this opportunity. So she was out there by herself. Now she claims that she had a friend that she rode out there with, but where the hell was your damn friend if they caught you out here by yourself? Two of Pentacles. It's like they took a gamble and picked this girl up because they saw her by herself. So I'm trying to figure out the David case when that baby was able to just be out like that. I feel like her parents were involved in that too. That's why they ain't got too much to say now. Five of Wands. So yeah, it's like her intuition should have kicked in and told her to fight this situation because it was risky. But if you have a diminished capacity, you don't think like the average person, fight or flight. It's like, oh, well, such and such said it's okay. Well, okay, I'll go. So it just, y'all, it seems like they could tell that she was really green and she came off delayed, and that feels like why she was chosen. Four of Swords. So yeah, they definitely want to lay this to rest because with the art card, that's saying a lot. Art could be as simple as art form like your music, but I feel like there's a tie that has to do with art, like shipments, things of that nature. Take that how you need to take that. But something attached to art, them working with art, that's going to uncover a whole nother situation. Now, back in the day, we got to say allegedly and for entertainment purposes, but back in the day, big time dealers, okay? Not the plug, but the socket. Follow me. The socket used to invest in things like art and shipping, fine cars and things like that came in cargo because they could pack that cargo with other things along with whatever was legally ordered. So it would be a way to launder and a way to transport all at the same time under the guise of art dealing. So you add in fencing, you add in, transferring packages, possibly, moving people around. It feels like that type of energy. And this may have been the time that somebody started working in art. They just didn't publicly put it out until years later that they had an affinity towards art. And even when they started dealing with that art was always an overlay for an underplay. So if you're spending this for art, what are you actually purchasing that's, behind the art? What comes with the art? And that feels like why they want to lay this to rest, because this is literally a skeleton key to a door that nobody expected to open. Said planes and trains. I got one better for you, baby. Ships, freighters, okay? Ports. These are things that will come in on a port whose house was literally a stone's throw away from a port. Right, said like the Wayfair rumors of expensive furniture. Princess of Swords, Eight of Cups. So it feels like this girl was left behind by another young girl that was mentally way more advanced than her. So she did travel with someone, but somehow this person left her. So she was out there wandering around, and whoever this other person was left her. So I would want to know, who the hell did she travel with? Because this is like the middle person. This is like the mastermind that got her from point A to point B and dropped her off. So who did this person know? How did this person even know that whatever was going on was a thing? Was this person already involved in the thing and now they were being incentivized to recruit? Said, did the woman that allegedly in the room with them drop her off? I don't know, but this feels like they dropped her off at Radio City. I don't feel like they dropped her off at the house. They brought her to the event and dipped. So this is like you got to the award show and then this person disappeared there. I don't feel like she saw this person after getting to the award show. Like they literally like disappeared in the crowd, or, well, I'm about to go see, like this is what this feels like. I'm about to go see if they got our name on such and such and so, I'll be right back. Like literally, they got our name at the box office. I'm about to go see blah, 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 blah. Go get our tickets. I'll be right back. This is what this feels like. And while you were out there, you were waiting for this person to come back. They never came back, but you just got to walking and wandering around. And whoever this is that picked you up, like you were handpicked. You were left out there and they didn't know at first if it was safe to pick you up, but then they realized, oh, okay, come with me. So it feels like the energy of somebody being dropped off at a bus station or a taxi stand. And whoever the driver is noticed, it's like, okay, well, I haven't seen you for the last hour or two. Let me see if that's one of our pickups. That's what this feels like. Yeah, Parallax, that's exactly what this feels like. That's why I said it feels like being left at like a bus station or a taxi stand. Like you're waiting for the person to come back and give you word that y'all can get in, but it's like, well, where did you go? Two of Swords. Person cut off communication, the Lovers. She may have not even heard back from this person after this incident. The Moon, the Star, the Ace of Wands. Yeah, an adjustment. Prince of Wands. Yeah, they thought to change this story around to make it seem like, this is somebody that's fast and she deals with multiple young boys. But somebody decided not to go with that narrative because it's like, you can't slut out a child like that because that's not going to go over too well. So it did better to blow over, to not say anything at all, because, if they adjust the story this way, they would even have to explain who was the younger person that could have possibly touched her, and how did this person get in the equation, and how many times did this person do that, and now you got to explain two minors somewhere they ain't got no business doing. So instead of doing that, you just chose to just go forward. But yeah, it was like they were gonna try to ruin this girl's reputation on some dairy vet type situation. But somebody in PR was like, that would be a nightmare, because what happens if the public feels some type of way with you shaming a child that has been abused, and then they get to talking about all the stats of how people's behavior is after being abused, and you can't victimize the abuse. So they chose to move forward and to just act like this never happened. Six of Pentacles, Four of Wands. Did somebody get some money to be quiet? You know, I'll give you something to make your life better. The universe. Four of Cups. So this is the thing. They rejected. So it looks like Jay is rejecting the idea of having to pay this young lady. But honey, the universe is pulled up, and you see the universe pulled up with what? That snake energy. That's Benziton's energy. Benziton is a karmic cosmic judge, just like Ochosi. So it's like it's your time to pay the piper. Whether he wants to or not, it's like you're going to pay for your actions. The God, the universe, you know, the ancestors, the angels, everybody is standing in agreement in spiritual court saying this is your time, you must pay. He never thought this day would come. This was supposed to be something swept under the rug, forgot about, no big deal. But Knight of Pentacles, he didn't expect this to drag on and drag on and drag on and affect his work. Eight of Pentacles, because people were wondering, you know, what was the real tea on the story? Queen of Swords, is she telling the truth? And Queen of Swords in the upright means that people behind the scenes feel like she's telling the truth. So why would they feel like she's telling the truth unless they know a side to you that the public doesn't know? Said, Angel, you said he was going to pay on both sides. Child, they going to hit him front, back, side to side, because here it is. Egolomaniac, Magnus, you got this big head. You really, really believe you're above everybody, like you're a god amongst men. And this is going to be a hell of a humbling situation. So he about to pay on the front end, the back end, and up his ugly ass. Baby, every way he could pay, they about to get him. The universe has decreed it. It's his time. Prince of Pentacles. He looked at this as a small situation, no big deal. But this is about to slow down a lot of money for his wife as well. There goes another stray. Like all this stuff that every time his name gets brought up and now her name is getting brought up, people are going to spend more and more or less with them, because Seven of Swords. Like, I don't trust y'all. What type of stuff y'all into over there? And then here it is. You keep fighting it, but it's like the truth is about to come out about what? Your lustful activities. Now, I got to say, for entertainment purposes only, all things said are alleged, because ugly people like to go to court. But, yeah, it's like we're about to find out the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth about, you know, what feels like your freaky deaky cocktails. Said our eyesight always messed up because of him. Ooh, child, just don't look directly at it. Said, do you think this will tie into Amir's mom? I think a lot of things are going to tie into a lot of things, because think about it. If they need DNA for this case, let's say Busby is, you know, making him get DNA for multiple reasons. Because if it goes through the court, then legally it's already property, and each separate court can petition to test against that sample if the judge allows. So when I tell you the way that Busby set this up is some code work, because he's setting him up to literally be lined up for several cases, not just this one case. And this is why he should have never, ever decided to play with Busby, because Busby plays a different type of chess. He plays Game of Thrones chess. This is the Sun Tzu, Art of War. The Empress. Also, this is another reason, whoever mentioned that, this is another reason why they want to lay this to rest. Because the Empress also talks about pregnancy, baby mama, Princess of Cups. Princess is a teenager. So we're gonna find out if your baby mama was a teenager. Busby smart as shit for this one. It's like I'm gonna put you in a position where everybody gonna get something out of you. Damn. And what if he's positioning it to where Ramir puts in all the paperwork and the paperwork gets approved and all they have to do is wait for him to have DNA sequestered in another case, and then the judge can say, oh, well, we'll just take it out of that sample because we already approved his motions. Damn. Yep, Knight of Swords. We're going to hear more rumors coming out about lust, about situations attached to him in the past. And we're talking about like the very beginning of his career. They're going to resurface with all the old tea from the 90s. And I would holler if Busby get him in that courtroom and goes back through all those rumors of all those young girls he was attached to and finds the truth to those rumors and use them as a, stair-stepping way into building a personality profile that shows that this is a concerted effort and a pattern. I said I got my drink already for Twitch. Hey, baby, so better get all the tea from when he was born. Listen, Ace of Cups, Two of Swords. Like, this is going to separate them from the community because all the people that love them and respect them, and I'm saying them, him and his wife, what's about to come out on him is going to be so bad that it's automatically going to be like throw the baby out with the bathwater. Beyonce is done. It don't even matter. You're married to him. You ain't know this, this, and this. Oh, you must be a monster too. Like, this is what the energy feels like. Put something on adjustment. Yep, the Two of Cups, the lovers. Y'all, this could cause them to start divorce court. This one alone could start the public speculation of divorce. And it seemed like it would only divorce to try to save what's left of Beyonce's brand and to turn everything around for her. So did you ever see that clip where Bey was saying how old she was and they caught her lying about her age when she met Jay? Child, I don't think I have, but I will tell you what I do remember. All of those girls, 15 and 16 years old, were dating Jagged Edge, and nobody said anything about 15 and 16-year-old girls actively dating 25 and 26-year-old men. And back then, we all thought to ourselves, if all of those girls are dating these grown-ass men, how the hell is Beyonce parents let her be around these girls that's supposed to be fast if she's not fast? Like, this don't make no sense. What's good for the goose is good for the gander. Where's her grown-ass man? We always thought that back then. Said, Angel, did you see the pic of Ramir and Camel's mama side by side going viral? The grandma is the baby. I don't think I seen it. Said in 1997. Let's see. No, they're going to go back further back than 1997. They're going to go back to like late 80s, early 90s. His rumors may pick up around 94, 95. That 94 to 96 should be pivotal years, okay? Rumors from 1994 to 1996 will be pivotal. So it looks like everything is going to go forward for Busby, Princess of Cups. The judges and the court are going to have way more sympathy for this young lady, because like I said, it feels like there's a health hazard here. So they have to be sensitive to what her needs are. And it feels like there is medical proof. Like this is not just rumor. It's not like, one of those southern dramas where I'm hot and I fainted. It's not like that. It feels like it's on paper and like MRIs, EKGs, like test results that can prove that there is a medical issue. So they have to like do her testimony like training wheels. You said Ramira looked just like Jay's mom, just like her. Said, I know I heard Mama Tina met Jay before Destiny Child was a thing, and that's how them girls went up, allegedly. Seven of Pentacles. There's a lot invested in this, and child, Busby is not stopping until he completely destroys everything. I want y'all to see this. Like, this looks like a behemoth, Leviathan. This is how he's coming in, destroying Pebble Nation. And this right here is the eye of God watching over the situation, making sure that it happens. So this is that gotcha moment. You reap what you sow. What? Better get a seamstress. Said he gives me creeps vibes, always have. To me, that's why I never liked him like that. Ain't my favorite rapper. I can name 10 more better than him. Ooh-wee, Lily. Yeah, eons. Yeah, Magnus and Eon. So this is like he's had this haughty disposition, or he's been very strong in this type of behavior, allegedly, for a very long time, because Eons talks about eras. So we're going to go back through eras in music. We could go all the way back to possibly the golden era hip hop into the more fly and flashy, like dope boy music. And you're going to find that there's a pattern in each era, which means that this is something that is like, you take pattern recognition, something where they can get a psychologist like the FBI to do mental probes, where they get someone that's like a mentalist to look at this and give a full psychological profile. And I see literally like a federal psychological profile. Yeah, Prince of Wands. Y'all, this behavior could have started like as a teenager, a young man. Like, this is not new. Nine of Wands. So it's like they're struggling, trying to push through. They still feel like when it's all said and done, this will be a rocky case, but they can still win. Show me, Busby. Mr. Ugly Man, I suggest you stay home. Seven of Swords talks about corruption, things done that are, very sneaky. Like, you want to be strategic, but this is falling under the Ace of Swords, which means you're going to get caught in criminality. And it looks like big time. And this is going to be the downfall of everything, because this is full exposure. Fortune, Ace of Pentacles. So at the end of the day, who really is going to win in this case? The lawyers, because one of them is going to win the judgment. The other one is going to run up the check. And either way it goes, Jay ain't going to come out of this unscathed at all. This is going to be the downfall of everything, because this case is going to give so much information towards other cases, and all these cases are literally going to be solved off of one another. So even though his lawyers are terrible, they about to make a hell of a lot of money, but look like Busby gonna win the judgment. I guess you could say score one for the lawyers. Yep, revealed tactics and patterns. Personality profiling. Yep, Ten of Wands. The Fool. He made a snap decision, or he was impetuous about making a decision, and this is going to put the weight of the world on his shoulders. Being stubborn, being obsessed with trying to prove that he's right, trying to prove that, you know, he's the big man on campus, that he could take down Busby. And it's like you literally are giving Busby the scissors to cut the strings to all your opportunities. Like this is one of those, you can't compete where you don't compare. You allowed yourself to get so caught up in the image of who you believe you are that the real you is going to destroy the image of you. Said that's the effect I call a snowball. Nicki Minaj. Said the streets was also saying that Harvey was teaching Jay at a young age, allegedly. Well, child, look at here. I'm looking at like teenager to young adult right here. This is not new. So if there's any validity to that, this looked like somebody was teaching you how to be in traffic very young. So let's think about, you know, hall guard, and then, a little traffic safety guard outside with the little belt. And then, you know, you get older and it's like, okay, now you're a driving instructor. You know, somebody teach you how to drive, then you become a driving instructor. And then you got schools of your own that teach others how to drive. This is what this feels like, you know. Hope you can pick up what I'm putting down. Everything is alleged and for entertainment purposes. But this feels like being groomed and taught and brought up the ladder until you can be positioned in a certain place. Being trained until you can be elevated in each, yes, tears to traffic, yes. So you may have started off a safety guard, but now you have, your own franchise, allegedly. So he was mentored into being a creep, allegedly. So we knew Uncle Busby was going to win. He took a hell of a gamble going off into this, and he's going to be heartbroken. Three of Swords. He really had, it's like, this is not even just about faith. It's like his arrogance is so strong that he just knew he was going to walk in there and walk out and mop the floor with Busby. This is somebody who really, like, believes the hype about themselves. Like, you oversold your wolf tickets believing in the hype that is, the image that you give the public, not realizing that Busby don't care about an image. He pulling up as the actual person. So here it is. You're playing tough, and he's coming here as a Marine showing you what tough really is. Child, this is two different lanes. This is someone on the service drive and someone literally Indy 500 like Mario Andretti. Two different lanes. You on the service drive, you sure as hell can't get out here and drive with Andretti. Yep, the death card. The Hierophant. This court case, he should have left this alone, because this is going to bury him. The death card. And not just him. They're going after him and everybody that was working with him, the Two of Cups, whoever was colluding with him allegedly. Oh, his downfall is going to be more embarrassing out of the two. I can promise you that. But he still has this mindset, okay, well, I can push it to the limit. When it's all said and done, I'm going to be able to push through, and I'm going to be victorious when it's all said and done. He thinks that he's going to force Busby to pay him. It's like, it's going to be a hard case, but I know I can win this. But it's like that bravado versus actuality is going to whoop his ass, because you're out here selling wolf tickets, not knowing that you're selling the tickets to the actual wolf, and not just any wolf, the alpha wolf. Because what did he say? Sunlight is a natural disinfectant. He's going to expose every single corner and crevice of your life. You said who Jay feeling like Zeus? Child. You're going to be feeling like a bed bug in a minute. Prince of Swords. Y'all, Eight of Pentacles. They're going to accuse him of being inappropriate with another minor. I got to say allegedly and for entertainment purposes only. But it could be a boy and a girl. The boy is what's going to blow everybody away. And I think this is what his wife doesn't know about. See, they put all the focus on this young lady, but somebody has a boy tucked off in the stash somewhere. I don't know who's representing the little boy, but child, what the hell is going on here today? Everything is alleged for entertainment purposes, but where this little boy come from, that's going to sneak up for the win. Because while you're trying to deny this young lady who has this mental issue, this little boy don't have frontal lobe issues like her. Now, he could be grown now, but he was definitely like preteen to teenager. What you say now? He liked the boysenberry. Allegedly and for entertainment purposes, somebody is holding this one like an extra clip in and one in the chamber. It's like you let that clip go and you think they let the full clip go and it's all gone and it's still one in the chamber. It's the one in the chamber that's about to tear your ass up. You put all this focus on her and she was the warm-up. Whatever is about to happen with this other one is going to be like, ooh, this is the one that's going to comfort your whole family. And when I say family, I'm not just talking about the family that he's married into. They're going to look at his actual family. Like, what is the history of your family? I think it's a history of several of y'all being inappropriate like this in the family. Not other people in the family that could be possibly physically irresponsible. So y'all got several family members that could be out here, take that, allegedly. So it's a family affair. Not the other people in the family gonna catch strays because they not just gonna expose you. They're gonna expose all of the folks in your family that have certain types of proclivities. Literally, you have to expose the whole family. There's several of them. It's like anywhere from 3 to 5 people, including him. It's like 3 to 5 people that have a history of take that, allegedly. You said his nephew got kicked out of school for SA years back. That could be revisited. And people are going to want more details of what happened. Damn. And they're going to catch a stray solely because they related to you. And I'm looking at what could be 2 male minors here. Prince of Swords, Prince of Wands. So it's like gatherings or parties could be a normal thing when it comes to alleged underage people being at gatherings. This could be something that's done on a regular basis. Child, not y'all be inviting young folks to the parties on a consistent basis. What was that man's name? Was it Larry Johnson, Larry Jackson, the football player? Didn't he say that he was at a party where he felt the drink had a little extra kick, and he felt like he had to get up and go, and as he was leaving, little people came in, aka youth. Was I the only one that heard that? Because I feel like I just confirmed that right here. But it's like this is going to be revisited, and then they're going to revisit other incidents from other people in the family. They're going to expose all the males of this family. So him, his in-laws, like all the males that have creepy behavior are about to be on Front Street. And we're going to hear about several situations with all these males to where they show that this is a culture. Okay, this feels like this is a culture that people behave this way. And behind the scenes is known about, but nobody looks at it as, that big a deal. It might be frowned upon, not because it's being done allegedly, but because don't bring any public attention to what's being done. Five of Cups. This is going to bring lots of regret, public humiliation, and embarrassment. You see all this water back here? People are going to be very deep in their feelings, and this is going to be a huge tower moment that will destroy all credibility. Said, didn't they say Beyonce called the children sexy child? Oh, don't tell me nothing like that. Now y'all see what I mean? How she just keep catching strays over and over again, because if it wasn't for him getting exposed, we wouldn't even be having this conversation. Nobody would be having this conversation if he wasn't being, probed right now. If there weren't inquiries into him right now, we wouldn't even be talking about this. Now, should we be talking about this? Abso-freaking-lutely. We should have been talking about this a long time ago. It shouldn't have took this long. The question is, why did it take so long? And it's like whatever they have on him, like I said, it's something that he doesn't expect them to have, and it's going to have him such a chokehold, he's going to want to take a plea deal. But it feels like whatever it is attached to this art. Now, it could be his art form, what he does for work, or it could be actually working in art, using art to possibly, allegedly hide other activities. We'll have to see how this plays out to see which one is more prominent. It does look like her whole legacy is down the drain over Cinnamon Boo. But what I'm looking at is he may kick it off, but it's like it's gonna be like how can I explain this? So for those of y'all that gamble, imagine being at the casino, right? And you're playing a slot machine and you see somebody win down here on this end. Well, it's like the machines are calibrated to where it wins there. It got to go all the way down the line back this way and then come back again. So it's going to be a wave to where it could start over here to the left and then it goes, this one, this one, this one, this one. And everybody ends up getting exposed eventually. And it's like, who over there can keep their hands to themselves? Who over there can, not be pulling their clothes off on people? Who over there is not and getting frisky? It's going to be a lot of allegations to where it's like, y'all weird as hell. All of y'all, doing something strange. So, child, this is about to be very humiliating. I'm even hearing like you could see him in court looking like he's completely emasculated. Like it'll be the first time that you ever see him look nervous in public. Like the cocky bravado will be gone. You'll see the color leave from his face. He'll appear to have aged tremendously by the time he gets to the end of the case, because it's like he'll finally get to understanding that this is a snowball effect. Like this is going to pick up and just keep piling up and piling up and piling up. And then next thing you know, it opens the door for bigger inquisitions and bigger investigations. And in the words of Kanye West and Selena Johnson, by way via Lauryn Hill, when it all falls down. Said, could it be those Basquiat art pieces he invented a few years ago? Well, he actually purchased a Basquiat that was like, I want to say for $25 million. So we don't know, but I would say if you are shipping something that's $25 million, I would think because of the security that has to cover that, the way it has to be packaged and shipped for insurance purposes to safely make it from point A to point B, that would be the perfect place to hide something, because chances are it's least likely that they want to harm that type of shipment due to how much it would cost to replace it insurance-wise. Said his pastor grandfather essayed his own daughter. Well, child, it looked like it's some stuff that run in the family. So remember I said they're going to expose all the men throughout the bloodline, not just his bloodline. They're going to start there, and then it's going to go through his wife's family. So it's like up to 3 to 5 people that are key that we're going to end up finding out about that got real sucky, murky, weird past. But we would have never found out all the details of all these other people's activities without them coming for Jay. Here it is. It finally hit the table. Art. Collaborating with whoever this is in art. And art falls under fortune. Y'all, I feel like ape shit was them, playing in our face, letting us know that they're able to turn up because of their interest in art. Art was, overplay for the underplay. And they put it right in our face. It was one of those if you know type conversations. But I feel like him doing that was flagrant, and he overplayed his hand, because those who know. And if you know real old school sockets, not just the plug, but the socket, they use art, and the plug has to meet the socket somewhere where they are unpacking the art at art galleries and these types of places to do business, check out, whatever is packed with the art, and then you decide, what's going to be transferred where. And just like that, you break the art down, hang the art somewhere where it's supposed to be legally safe in a gallery. And the art gallery is really a front for people coming together. I want to say like networking and doing business together while sipping wine. So while you're standing here looking at this portrait, the conversation is not about the portrait that you purchased, but allegedly the shipment that came in with the portrait. So when the next person buys the portrait, they're really buying the shipment, but the portrait is the front. Now, if you're really, really good at this, then you're making high-level duplicated art pieces, which means they cost a fraction of what the real one costs, and you pass this one off to cover what came with it for real. But if you slip up and sell this to the wrong person, you can get caught up in a whole nother felony, because you're making fraudulent art pieces, which is a part of fencing as well, because art is supposed to be insured, which means you're defrauding the government, not just the person that you're buying the art piece from. So things need to be authenticated. I hope I'm not losing nobody. I feel like if you know, you know. Princess of Pentacles. So they're going to take a gamble and use the Princess of Pentacles to secure whatever the wealth is. So expect wealth transfers, you know, cars, houses, businesses, things being transferred into this young person to protect when everything comes out about this lust. So when they go after it, they're going to be like, well, they ain't going to be able to get it because it's in my daughter's name, but you must not be paying attention to who the president is. Yep, 8 of Swords, 7 of Wands. I think his defense attorneys know when it's all said and done that he could go to jail. They're heavy in their head about what investigation could come out of this. But what they need to be worried about is not going to jail their damn self. Because the lawyers will need lawyers. And if his lawyers change again, don't be surprised, because it looked like the law firm is trying to avoid whatever this big legal tsunami is that's about to come. And they're looking at all the other lawyers or law firms that were representing them. And it's like, we don't want to be like them. We don't want to be admonished. We don't want to be probed. So, you know, we'll just stand back and let you go to another law firm, or let another law firm join the case, and we'll let them take lead attorney type position. Yeah, they're going to feel extremely betrayed, because it's like you lined yourself up for Busby to be able to prove the lust factor. And it's, you know, it's like this is somebody that was so obsessed with trying to, you know, violate, trying to pay somebody back. Does that energy sound familiar? So eager to pay somebody back, to violate somebody that you literally violated yourself, because you lined yourself up, and all Busby got to do is just come straight through. Boom. That's it. Prince of Cups. Y'all, this it's more boys than girls on this table. I don't know if the boys are worth more money, and y'all, I'm trying to keep this as respectful as possible. It feels like there's more of an interest in the boys. It seems like the boys are more of like, oh, this feels so wrong to say this, but more of like, you know, a preference, a delicacy. So it feels like the boys bring in more money. I'm looking at 3 boys now on my table. Prince of Swords, Prince of Cups, Prince of Pentacles. Let me see if there's another one. Knight of Pentacles represents a teenager to an adult. These other ones seem like preteens to teenagers. Yeah, it's more boys involved. That's going to be the surprise. Yep, the Hangman and the 4 of Cups. From here on out, access denied. They're going to be strong-arming him. Like, can't assist you, can't help you. You're stuck. 9 of Wands. The Wounded Warriors, which means the victims. We're going to hear about these victims, their families, that, you know, they're going to try to protect the identity of these people because they were young. But I do see that this will be a huge disappointment. This comes out in court. Princess of Cups, a young female, and another young person. Man, they about to build what looks like the stairway to hell. each allegation is going to put another nail in your career and public image casket. Nine of Wands, the Chariot. Some of these people actually did go before legal officials or lawyers, and they put in petitions. They reported this, and this is about to be exposed. And it looks like Knight of Cups. Hold on. So I got 2 teenagers and like 3 boys so far. So 2 teenage boys and 3 young boys. Child, this is a fool. This man should have never took Busby lightly. He should have never, ever, ever thought about taking Busby to court. When I tell you this is a downfall that he does not want, this is literally the beginning of him bungee jumping straight to the damn gates of hell. And the court breaks. The Lovers and the 3 of Cups. Yeah, it looks like there were several parties that he was hooking up with these alleged people. One of those parties, there was a young woman who was also a water sign. So a lot happens with these people discussing either the music, art, or over art with young people at these parties, allegedly. And it seems like it's a common thing. It's something that was done very, very often. If y'all go back and listen to Ether, Ether is going to hit so much harder after listening to this reading, because he talks about, you know, people all knowing that he was out here with, you know, Fox and, you know, having a thing for young people. Damn. Yep. Ace of Pentacles and the Lust card. Y'all, they're going to try to prove that most of his money was made out of allegedly directing traffic. It could be several types of traffic, but this looks like human. So, my goodness. And even if they don't prove that this is what he does, it's like they're going to tie him into several situations where it looks like he's always at a traffic stop, allegedly. So it's like, how are you always present at all these different traffic stops if you're not a part of directing traffic? Y'all, I be telling these people to stay out of court. They don't listen. But I guess, you know, I'm a fake physics, so hey. Five of Pentacles. Everybody that has collaborated with you, that may currently work with you, could lose everything. And this is why everybody is going to fall back. You're going to see everybody dissolving contracts, separating. The Snitch Olympics is about to kick off with a bang. People are going to be giving up information that's not even required just to say, hey, I cooperated. My company had nothing to do with this, this, and this. I didn't know about this, this, and this. Hey, I may have been standing right next to you over there, but they're not going to know about me because I told them about you. This is the energy that I'm getting. So he could feel betrayed by a lot of very well-to-do, very powerful people, like the Billionaires Club, like, you know, when the ones that got them big billies, okay? Like, these people are going to separate in every possible way, and they're going to, you know, work with whoever the authorities are, because you're not going to make them lose everything that they've built. Like, you're just coming into, you know, the billions. Like, you're on the low end. You're what they would consider to be cute money, possibly poor. Like, this is the money that changes nations. They're not about to let you mess up this kind of money. And they're not going to let you come after these people, because these people lead to people we're not supposed to know about, people we're not supposed to see. So it's better you than them to protect the stability of whatever the infrastructure is. They're not going to let the infrastructure fall. They'll just put you out on the curb for bulk day. Your services are no longer needed. Yep, the Fool. You took a leap of faith thinking people would collaborate with you, that this was going to work the way that it usually worked, that you're going to still have the pull that you allegedly have in the courts. Ten of Swords, you're going to be heavily disappointed. You're going to feel betrayed because yesterday's price ain't today's price. People are not going to put their license and, you know, their reputation on the line to go up before the bar and the FBI and Homeland Security for this. So you're going to have to eat this because the lawyers allegedly and the judges allegedly are going to have to fall back to not catch cases because it looks like, once again, the lawyers will need lawyers. There's going to be investigations where lawyers can't represent themselves, so they're going to have other lawyers to have to file petitions for them. When I tell you everybody's going to literally put their hands up and be like, that was him. I don't know nothing about that. We had no idea he was into those types of things. And here go those types of things. Lots of encounters. Lots of encounters. Six of Cups from the past. And I feel like, and I got to say this is alleged and for entertainment purposes only. I don't know what I'm talking about. Take this with a grain of salt. I feel like the common denominator with a lot of these encounters is some kind of viral infection. Because I'm looking at all these flaming wands. And if I am correct, there's no way you can lie and say you're not involved in a lot of these situations because the blood work will tell the difference. Nine of Pentacles. You're on your own. Everybody is going to preserve their own brand, their own money. You're on your own. Whatever you got, fight the best you can with your own resources. This is falling under the Four of Cups. Being rejected by everybody, being stuck in situations. You and your family do what you got to do. You're a reputational risk. We're backing up. Yep. Five of Swords, Eight of Pentacles. There's too many gray areas here. Conflict in communication. The things that you're being accused of, we got to fall back on how we work with you. Six of Swords, you're now considered a hot potato. You're now considered someone that is toxic, and we need to get away from you and move as far away from your brand as possible because just the mention of these kinds of allegations can crumble the walls like Jericho. We don't want any parts of this. Once again, all things said are alleged and for entertainment purposes only. But this looks like, you know, whatever these allegations are, we're going to start taking down advertisement pictures. We don't want anything to do with you at all. And this is where, you know, his wife is going to take the ultimate strays because he's so much a part of her brand. You got to throw the baby out with the bathwater. So there's her career too. Done. She's going to be exposed right along with him. And it's going to start off in a way to where it's like guilty by association. And then it's going to go from guilty by associations to let's play connect the dots. And when they play connect the dots, there it is, full exposure. This falls under the Chariot. So y'all, by next year, between June and July, because Chariot represents Cancer season. Next year, Cancer season is going to be like napalm to them. Everything around them, literally, boom, 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 boom. Whole infrastructure, just like demolition. Like every part of their career is going to be like demolition, just boom, 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 until you finally see the whole infrastructure being broken down. Expect some scandals around Roc Nation Sports. Two of Wands. Um, it's the duality, and the choices that are made are going to be completely detrimental to the company. Once again, the Tower. Um, those who are very business savvy, they're going to transfer quietly and get up out of there and end up with new agencies to manage them. Other ones that aren't, or they feel like they need to co-sign, child, you're going to be caught up on the shelf, and not a regular shelf. Like your paperwork, your contracts could be held up due to government probes, meaning you can't break that contract or go sign with anybody without a really good lawyer that's going to show that you need to separate, because this is, this is detrimental to your career, which means it is a reputational risk that can ruin your career and your brand, and you need them to let you out of this contract due to the malpractice of the company that you're working with. Now, somebody is going to need this information later. I don't know who's going to listen to me, but you better listen to what I'm saying, because I'm wording it in a certain way for you to take it to your lawyer, which they can legally get you out of your contract by, the criminality of the people you're signed to being a direct risk to your career that can destroy your brand. Said it's already happening with the sports. Milagro discussed something happening in London with an athlete. Baby, listen, this is just a tiny pinch of salt. When I tell you what's about to come, ain't even that. It ain't even that. That is disparaging for sure. It's disparaging. Something, how do I say this? Keywords: Tricks and Fruity Pebbles. Those will be the key words for what's going to be the exposure through players, athletes, especially NFL. Tricks and Fruity Pebbles. Put a pin in that. We'll come back and discuss that later. The last time I gave y'all a title like this, when I said Super Bowls and Rico Suaves, I told y'all that there would be Ricos that would come after Super Bowls. We're looking at what feels like the building of the Ricos right now. I don't know why I'm channeling music right now, but I'm channeling the old school song, What People Do for Money. Whatever these people do for money is going to bring the Tower. It's going to destroy a lot of people. Yes, morality clauses will be key, okay? Reputational risk and morality clauses. There's going to be a lot of heartbreak that's going to come out from the past. Six of Cups. People are going to literally be sick. Yep. And this is when everybody's going to try to escape, get away from the situation. It's toxic, because we're also going to hear the story of what happened to a young water sign girl. And when we get these stories, this is going to be the beginning of what takes every nickel and dime they have, because if they can't get this insurance company to pay for these legal cases, and they got to start paying for these cases out of their own money, this money will start to dry up very fast, because these are very high-powered lawyers, and these cases are going to drag and drag and drag and drag. And the longer these cases drag out, the more money has to be paid to these law firms, and eventually the money will start to get shorter than ants on their knees. Yeah. Contracts, negotiations, and agreements with people that work together, they're all going to have to lawyer up, because this is falling under the Seven Wands, defense attorneys. Eight of Cups. Everybody is going to walk away from them when this, whatever this is, hits the Tower. They're going to, every way they could possibly run away from them. I'm telling y'all, like cleansing their social media. You'll see people purge their social media. Pictures that everybody had with them, they're going to scrub their pages. I want that off my page. I don't want to be seen with you. I don't want to be associated with you. I don't want anybody to know that I work with you. Like, it's going to get so hot that people that are close, who their whole career, they use this as a crutch, as a cosign. They're going to have to find something else to do or fade to black, because they're going to have to scrub their whole entire social media and fall back from this relationship. And this is also a part of why the Snitch Olympics is going to be epic, because these people are going to not only switch teams, but they're going to sell their stories in the form of podcast. Just watch. And this is how these people are going to make money. Their new hustle is going to be, to tell the stories that are going to fuel the rumor mill. And it's going to start off with whoever this young female water sign is. That's going to turn the whole narrative, because, oh, that's different. Can't co-sign that one. That one is too big for me. And it's all information coming from the past, and everybody that worked with you in the past, that helped you in the past, everybody about to be called to the office. Yep, over this water sign young lady that you work with falls under the 8 of Pentacles. So that means that you work with the tower that's about to come out connected to when y'all work together, and starting from the contract on out. Well. All of this out of his lawyer being terrible in the appellate process. Who would have thought we would have got all of this out of why your lawyer was so damn terrible in court? Now, everything said is alleged and for entertainment purposes only. And I hang out, with a gnome in the backyard that's very 420 friendly, that lives in the mushrooms. So I could be crazy as hell. We'll just have to wait and see. But whatever you got going on with this law office, these new lawyers, honey, this is not the winning team. But I don't think there's any team that could be the winning team when you're fighting against the Most High. See, that's the bigger picture. It doesn't matter who you bring to the fight when you come against God. You cannot win. So, Angel, did you see the article of the NFL officially saying that the NFL is afraid of Pebble Nation? I did not see that, but I could see why. Because every time Pebble Nation have a problem, Robert Goodell has a problem, allegedly. So I definitely get it. He probably wakes up every day eating Tums and drinking whiskey, just praying that God would just hurry up and get this over with before it's too late. I could see that. Because what I'm looking at, if this sweeps through the NFL, the NBA, and wherever that I see this going, child, this is going to crumble teams, okay? Like star players on teams. We're going to see some really big names that could be, attached to possibly being in the umbrella, or franchise groups of traffic directors, allegedly. So if you have elevated to district manager, some of these athletes could be, regional managers. And if these athletes are regional managers and they're doing some of these things in between, the season while they're touring, or, traveling rather, because they, touring is for music. But while they're on the road rather, the NBA, the NFL, and whoever else can get pulled into this, because are they using the money from these companies to bring these people out? And if it's not them using the money from these companies to bring these people out, could these companies get sued because you were actively at work while taking part in such activities, which means this player is not his own entity because he's covered under the umbrella of his boss. So now I'm not just suing the athlete, I'm coming after his boss because I was traveling or was possibly trafficked through, you know, your your travel record, your calendar. So yeah, y'all see how this is running together? So it's the difference of if you know, regular girls getting flued out and people that are, you know, being carried from place to place, picked up, dropped off, while people are on the road playing from game to game. Because if you're just doing this during the off season, this is you by yourself. You're operating under your own recognizance. But if you're doing this during the season, while you're traveling, you're doing this under the umbrella of your management company and your employer. So now your management company and your employer can get called in because who the hell is scheduling the traffic stops while you're at work? Who is a part of the transportation company? Because now we don't just sue the driver, we sue the transportation companies. This is getting nasty. So I would suggest that people start, you know, slowly and quietly finding new places to have their careers managed. But then again, depending on some of these people, it might be too late. Damn. How y'all really making y'all money though? It's a hell of a question. And see, here's the thing. It's not about people making a lot of money. It's about people having financial literacy when they get the money. Because if you give a fool a lot of money, he ain't going to have it for long. So, of course, a fool is going to do foolish things to continue to keep up a lifestyle because they're terrible with how they spend the money that they already get, which is easy to get someone like that involved in something like this because they'll do anything for the money to help keep up whatever the image is that they're trying to keep. Is that right? Check your flight records. And not check your flight records and hymens. Oh my God, that's even worse than hide your wives, hide your children. But then again, I don't know. It's probably the same damn thing at this point. Right, all the sports books. Now y'all see how big this is getting? Because now this also, you know, goes off into sports betting. This goes off into agents and sports management. This goes off into teams and franchises. Like this gets huge because who are the traffic directors? We need to find out. We need everybody's paperwork. We're going to come in and, you know, start seizing stuff. Y'all, oh, allegedly, he got the NFL in a real ugly, tight position. And possibly the NFL and the NBA could possibly be in the same position. So we finna have nothing for a minute. I don't know if we gonna have nothing for a minute, but hell, go get you a basketball and shoot yourself in the backyard or go play some kickball or something. Or maybe watch college sports because, I don't know, watching court seems like it's going to be way more interesting. And you afraid to drop a flop-ass album on top of having a flop-ass legal team? My goodness. I guess if I was them, I'd be mad at Tory too. Tory just dropped another song with Trippie Redd. It's like you not only are you dropping banger albums, you dropping features too. Child, they mad at you. Like you don't even know how to be locked up right. Like we can't even make you look sad in there. You making prison look like a place to, you know, rebuild your damn career. Okay. I'll let y'all pick the last one for this evening before we go to Twitch. Hold on. So do y'all want to do Hayden Pantier, excuse me, Lord? Y'all want to do Hayden? Y'all excuse me. I don't know why her name right now is not rolling off my tongue right. Do y'all want to do her death investigation, or do you want to do Diddy's future after the Keffe D trial, and why did he have Navy SEALs as his security, and did he have them because he was that afraid of Suge? Thank you, Grateful. I don't know why it felt like my tongue got tied when I got to her last name. Okay. I'm seeing both. I see somebody making a good point, said Hayden because Diddy's is going to take a very long time. It looks like a split. Okay, how about we make it Hayden and then we come back on Twitch and we do Diddy. And I got another topic that I didn't name that's going to be solely for Twitch. So that'll be 2 topics on Twitch and we'll close it out here with Hayden. So we're going to still do Diddy, but maybe it's meant for me to do Diddy on Twitch because I can really get off into some things. Hayden. What deck are we going to use for Miss Hayden? Okay, Kingdom of Heaven. To everybody that likes to know what decks I'm using, we're going to use the Kingdom of Heaven Tarot. Poor baby. Yeah, her birthday did just pass. You say you're just about to buy this deck? Well, I'm about to model it for you so you can see what it looks like. It's affordable deck too, and it's good card stock. So I think this will be a good investment. Show me the energy around Hayden's death and this death investigation. Hayden Panettiere, death investigation. 6 of Wands. Y'all, they're taking this serious. They're going to move forward with this valiantly. 4 of Wands. They want to know more about the domestic situation with her, the stability of the people around her. Okay, do they feel like this was sabotage? Why are they digging into the people that were around her? High Priestess. They feel like there's some high-level secrets here they need to get to the bottom of. 3 of Wands, something like somebody took an opportunity or somebody benefited out of this situation, because 3 of Wands is this is like your ships coming in, huge opportunity. Page of Cups. They're going to be looking at, you know, text messages, DMs, emails, like communication around her. But I feel like this is somebody that she didn't really, you know, communicate with as often as people thought that she did. Somebody that was trying to come back into her life. Temperance. Wanted balance through a new beginning. May have been trying to get a hold of her through telling her they needed to talk. They wanted to apologize. Is this some old breakup to makeup type stuff? 9 of Pentacles. This was her alone. 10 of Cups. So she may have been separating from her family as well, or felt like she was ostracized by her family. But she was getting to the point to where she was getting back stable, getting back on her feet, and she was choosing to do a lot of things now alone. So it feels like she went from um, seeking their advice and being very concerned about her family, how they felt, what they thought about her career. And then it got to the point to where she says, I'm just going to do what I'm going to do. I'm not going to concern myself with the family and how they think and how they feel. I'm the one that pretty much is running this ship anyway. Everything falls on me anyway. And with this, hold on, before I show you this other card, with these wine grapes here, it was like she was going to take a sour situation and turn it into something better for herself. So, it's like, why waste a negative well, I don't want to say a negative opportunity. It feels like something that was supposed to be an opportunity and it took a left. So it's like, making profit out of your pain instead of people having, you know, instead of other people making money off of her and causing her pain, she was going to allow her pain to bring profit, if that makes sense. Knight of Pentacles is like her career may have been stalled out. Things that, been slow. It's like she was getting work, but it wasn't the work that she was used to getting. Whatever it was that she was choosing to do, it wasn't the work that she was accustomed to, but it still paid the bills. It just wasn't anywhere close to what she used to do, but she was still finding work. Seven of Pentacles, she was very, very invested in, pulling people into her past, telling her story. So she expected this press run to go for a while, and she was going to not only, tell her story from this book, but she was going to fill in the gray areas through interviews to bring awareness to what feels like traffic in the industry and her experience and what happened to her. And I feel like they needed to quiet her because her story ran into a bigger story that would have exposed other people that we were never supposed to know about as moving parts. Four of Cups. Yeah, someone rejected this idea of her, putting this book out, sharing her story, and turning her pain into profit. And this talks about a heavy betrayal that you can't come back from. It's like if she goes out and tell this story, they're worried about how this is going to affect them, even though they're not the ones that suffered through what she went through. And it feels like this is the energy behind why she's not here. Somebody wanted her to be quiet because she was going to mess up the church's money. And I got to say, this is alleged and for entertainment purposes only, but this is what this feels like. They wanted to sacrifice the idea and just rebuild the career and make money, but she's like, no, I'm going to rebuild my career through my healing, and I don't want to hide anything. My story is my story, so I'm going to share my story and rebuild my career off of who I really am. But they definitely did not want her to do this. They were worried about how this was going to affect them. Queen of Cups. She was following her intuition. It was like her heart was telling her that she had to share this information. And whoever this is that didn't want her to share this information, they didn't want her to share this information because this looks like the feds, higher government. They knew if she shared this story, she shared the right details, this was going to open some investigations. So this makes sense about why they were worried about how this was going to affect them, even though she's the one that was taken advantage of. They were looking at the bigger picture of, the authorities coming in, lawyers getting involved, the feds, the state. And I'm hearing maritime law, like something, maritime law has to be activated because I think the water is a very pivotal place in this story, because whatever the maritime law is different than the law of the land. Put a pin in that. That's going to be very important later. Whatever the law is out on the open sea is different than the law of the land. So this feels like why they took people out on the boats and took them out into the water, because you can't press the same charges for what happens in the water versus what happens on the land. Somebody was very, very smart and devious to even come up with that. So they know it would not hold up in certain courts of law just due to maritime law. But what they don't understand is maritime law goes off into government law, which goes off into like the Navy and the feds and things like that. And this is why they were afraid of her telling her story, because even though certain things can't go into a regular court of law, they can go off into a military tribunal, if that makes sense. Because this is where you get NCIS, like the Naval Central Intelligence Service. So a choice had to be made. Two of Wands, Page of Wands. They had to go in a different direction. It's like they had to improvise. Frosty, you're correct. What they forgot about was spiritual law. I agree. Yeah, and see, this talks about being on ships or boats. This person is waiting for the ship to come in and come and, either drop off cargo or pick them up. And then once you get on that ship or that shipment, you got to fight for your life, because you can't get off of that ship because you're literally stuck out in the middle of the sea with someone that's very wealthy, and it's not just about their money. It's like this person is very, very established, very tied in. This is a juggernaut, okay, when it comes to executives. So it's like you can go and tell whatever this is, but this is one of those things where they would know that you're in the precinct giving a statement before you even leave the precinct, because they're that tied in. So it's one of those things to where if I go to the police and tell this, I'm going to end up getting offed. So imagine the anxiety that she had to go through throughout all these years. So when you think about her having substance issues and things of that nature, it's like you got to do something to cope, because who can you run to? Nobody. But if you say no, now you still got an enemy, because you don't know who they could go to get to pick you up and snatch you out of your house and make you go, allegedly. So think about how heavy that was on her soul. This was something that she couldn't avoid if she wanted to, but it looks like family members was like, hey, as long as nobody knows about it, no big deal. You can keep on working. Make sure you don't tell this or share this, because this could affect your brand. And if this affects your brand, this affects the church's money, and then we all get less. So why would you tell this story, which is going to block us from being able to work, AKA you go out and work and we live comfortably off of you? All things are alleged and for entertainment purposes only. Justice in the Star. Yeah, it feels like this situation is going to end up being healed or rectified in some type of way, because somebody's going to have to go before a court, some type of magistrate of some kind. We're talking about not just spiritual court, but physical court. Someone's going to have to answer for what happens. And it could be either a family member or someone that she considered family. It's a family tie, like a blood tie of some kind. Like familial relation. Like they're going to have to answer some questions that they didn't want to answer. Right, you never know what people had to endure to get in, right? So that's exactly why we saw those pictures of Obama in the boat. with the little Asian girl peeking up from the floor of the boat. Maritime law. We got to say allegedly and for entertainment purposes, but wouldn't that be interesting if that was a thing? Said everyone that failed her need to be held accountable. Four of Swords. This talks about laying a situation to rest. They wanted to limit her communication, but whoever thought that this situation was just going to go under the radar, they got another thing coming, because they're about to be sorry, because they're going to probe off into her past, and they're going to check out, her book and run the stories from her book and authenticate what she's saying. And this is still going to expose things on the back end, because they're going to use her book as if it's like a written testimony. So she still gets justice, even though she gets it from the spirit realm. But it looks like her book is going to help them to look into different directions that they may not have had enough information on. Would you say Jerome the Gnome be telling us? Oh, Jerome the Gnome. First of all, I love that. He said it's all alleged. Yes, it is. Coming straight from the mushroom. At the confirmation station. Okay, let's see. Yeah, judgment is coming. And that's also like judgment came to the independent woman, like someone caught her by herself and decided to inflict judgment. And it was all over, their wealth and everything that they work for, the Wheel of Fortune, to protect everything that they built. Because these people are obsessive and toxic, tied to some really weird things that has to do with the energy of lovers or the lovers. And this looks like this is how they really manifest. This is how these people really live the lives that they live. It's not about what they do while they're on the land. It's what they do while they're in the sea. The maritime money is how they really are becoming wealthy, allegedly. Beware of these yacht parties, y'all. Look like somebody going to prison. 8 of Swords, 6 of Swords. It's like you're going to have people trying to get out of the way, trying to escape. But this is going to drag out for a minute. They're going to try to thoroughly investigate this. And somebody's going to face possibly going to jail because of their involvement. Said, I'm so happy they are investigating her death. I feel like they should do this for every industry death, because most of them are, we'll say, homicidal. Said around the same time those other pictures dropped, we used to have to delete them at my old job. That's also how I know Wayfair isn't a rumor. Interesting. Child, these parties on these yachts, stay y'all ass off these boats. If it ain't your boat, somebody that you know personally, like personally, stay off these damn boats. Stay your happy ass off these boats. If you can't do like that the little young man did during the Alabama brawl, where you can hop off that bitch and swim for dear life and get out and shake your dreads like nothing happened, don't you get your happy ass on these boats. At this point, you can't invite my ass to a slip and slide. I'm tired of everybody. I don't even want to meet you at the damn, what you call it? Chuck E. Cheese. I don't know if y'all meeting at Chuck E. Cheese doing weird shit. Just leave me alone. I'm at home. Oh, who running? Who the hell ran? Come here. Somebody trying to escape, y'all. Oh, I'd be running too. 6 of Cups. This is going to unearth a lot of information, a lot of things from the past, and they're very invested in combing over her past and the things that she said. It seemed like it was so much public interest in the fact that people think that this could have been an unalivement. We got to make up words for YouTube. it was so much public interest that it caused them to look into it. It's like whoever the team is that's looking into it, they're looking at this like, what if we looked into Whitney? Speaking of what if we looked into Whitney, did y'all see Ray J on Kick when the guy paid to ask him a question and he asked him how did it feel to lace Whitney and help them take her out? Child, I was through. Ray J sat there with the stone face. He didn't know what to say, what to do. Ooh, baby. Talking about being punched in the gut. He couldn't even come up with nothing for that one. Oh, Fee, you didn't hear about that one? Yeah, he was on Kick and people were giving donations to ask questions. And it was an older white guy and he came in with the napalm. It was like, how does it feel to have been there and to pretty much have slipped Whitney something and helped them to unalive her? I'm paraphrasing because we on YouTube. But yeah, he came straight down the middle, punched him in the face with that question. I said, ooh. Y'all, that clip ended with silence because Ray J didn't know what to say, especially because it was an elderly white man. I played it back like 3 or 4 times. I said, oh my God. Am I rolled up? Let me watch this again. Where's my lighter? Whoo! My God. he said he hit Ray J with like Orlando should have had. Baby, he hit Ray J like how Martin got hit by Hitman Hearns on his damn comedy. That was the whoo. He knocked the ancestors out his ass. He just sat there and had to think about his whole entire journey in life. I said, that man is savage for that one, but can you answer the question, Ray? The inquiring minds, us, would like to know. Whoever thought that somebody would have got the chance to actually ask Ray J that question? Child. You got the Empress here and the 8 of Wands falling under the 4 of Cups. I don't know if this is Hayden's mother or someone that's like a mother figure. Okay, someone that she trusted like a mother figure. It's like they're trying to hurry up and rush the authorities through this process. They're not helping with giving them any information. They just want to hurry up and, be done with this. Like, look, she just overdosed. She had a problem. That was it. And it's actually, ringing a bell or, raising a red flag. Because it's like, why do you, out of all people, want to hurry up and rush this to be closed? But I feel like they want to rush this to be closed because of whatever the insurance is on her. Because the quicker you close a case, the quicker you can activate a claim. And when they have an investigation into someone's death, the insurance company ain't paying shit. They can turn around after the police investigate and then they could do their own investigation. So whatever it is could be tied up until everybody feel like they want to do an investigation. Said, God forbid the crates fall in the ocean. Child, ooh-wee. Says sedated for transport, I believe, allegedly. Y'all having a hell of a conversation in the chat. King of Wands. Y'all, whoever this is a very prominent figure that everybody knows. This is a household name. And if we find out who this was that she was on this boat with, this ship, whatever, at 18 years old, this is going to be blockbuster because I feel like this is like one of the leading men of Hollywood. Like, multi-million-dollar budget type action movie, like top tier. This is like A+ level person. Said allegedly it was James Blunt. Whoever this is, they were really at the top of their career. Like they're someone who you would see at like possibly like the Oscars or the Tony Awards or something. Like this is a very high level established person. This is like, someone that could have been considered double or triple A list at one point in time. And even if they're still not there, they're a part of what's considered Hollywood royalty. This is a very, very prominent person. Damn. Talking about blowing the lid off or something. Yeah, Five of Swords. This is why it was so much conflict with her moving forward with this situation, because whoever name this is, it's like you could ruin your whole life even mentioning this name. Because it's not about if they did it, it's about if you can withstand even accusing them of doing something. So I wonder if she has wrote it in her diary or something. Well, if it wasn't her diary, what if she texts somebody what actually happened to her during that time? Or she DM'd somebody? This is why it feels like they're going to go back to the past, look over all her emails, her direct messages, her FaceTimes, her tweets, things of that nature. Like what, her social media accounts, like, what do you call it? What's the thing called? Her stories, like her stories, things like that. And they're going to try to tie things together for that time and see if she mentions to someone in like old text messages or DMs or instant messages about what happened that night or about grievances with certain people. And they're going to try to tie this together. They definitely want this quiet because this would be blockbuster if we knew who this was. And it's like this could even be someone that has been around her before when she was young, or someone you would never think about doing this, because at the time they possibly not just were A-list, but they had very young children themselves. Said her and her brother were both passed away the same way, found deceased sitting in a chair. Oh, wow. I hate to say it, but that feels symbolic, just like when you think about Bobby Christina was saved from drowning in the tub at the hotel, and then like the next night, Whitney is allegedly drowned in the hotel tub, and then years later, we find out that Bobby Christina was assaulted and allegedly drowned in the tub again. So it's like, how does this keep happening in the same bloodline? Said he's 52 now, so it's very possible James Blunt from the music industry aspect. Well, we don't know who it is, but I'm telling you, it's somebody that was very, very popular and prominent at the time. Someone that was definitely on the radar of, pop culture. Ace of Cups, Knight of Cups. Yeah, I feel like they love bombed her. They let somebody come in with an offer of romance and relationship and love, but this was to balance everything out, to keep an eye on her, to make sure that she was handled properly. Like this person could corral her to move in a certain way that was going to be beneficial to the bigger picture. So even the relationship that she was in that she thought was love, it feels like it was curated. They may have had some real moments, but it feels like it may have started off being orchestrated, if that makes sense. Once again, everything I'm saying is alleged and for entertainment purposes. So it just seems like they had been lining her up for years, and it got to the point to where she had to separate from some of everybody because it was like nobody around her was organic. Nine of Wands, she went through a lot, but she was finally winning. She was finally coming out on top, and she was about to skyrocket with this book, and her career was going to come back because, people were going to relate to the new raw, real version of her taking down the persona and giving us the real her. This was going to really like congeal a whole new type of career because people were going to connect with her, feel the real her, and like her even more. So they didn't want her to be in a position to where people would like her, they would, identify with her and follow what she's saying, because this could expose something way bigger and it's like she was likable. She was somebody that had a crossover appeal in several different communities. So it's like E.F. Hutton. When she talks, people listen. And she comes off as relatable, not someone that is, privileged or, you know, just, that Hollywood spoiled brat type energy. She felt like a real person. So this was going to connect and they didn't want it to. Said like an arranged marriage or relationship. It feels like it. Said, has the book came out yet or no? She was already on the book tour, so I believe the book was out. And I noticed that she started off the book tour with like the black community, like Tamron Hill and people like that. So she started off grassroots and was moving up. They didn't want her to get to like, like Como or Nancy Grace or, MSNBC, stuff like that. Pierce Morgan. They didn't want her to get to those. Said the night at that Grammy party, you can hear Whitney say to Monica that she's almost drowned twice. Monica said again, and then Whitney moved on to give Brandy a note. Go watch the clip again. Child, that's a lot. Said they said her ex abuse. What'd you say? You said they said her abusive ex only came around when she had more attention on her. Well, this might be who this is because it feels like somebody love bombed her, like they wanted to apologize for their actions, change their ways, and this is how they got close to her. So I don't know if this was the ex that the public knows or this is somebody that was, curated to be in her life. But it seems like this is how they were able to get in, was that they begged her to talk to her. Like, I just need to talk to you. And they gave her the guise of apologizing. Like, let's sit down, let's talk this out, let's work this out. And it went left. Was this meant to go left? Eight of Cups, Page of Wands. She wasn't going to take this person back. She was walking away from this person going in a different direction. It's like she was ready to make solid choices for her life, and one of them was going to be choosing better in relationships. So she didn't want to take this person back. She wanted to be single for a while, do some more healing, do her dark night of the soul work. Two of Swords and the King of Swords. Y'all, they did not want her story to make it to the authorities, for anybody to research this story, and they had to stop it because she wasn't going to stop telling her story. Six of Pentacles. Y'all, Three of Swords. This feels like somebody may have received an incentive, may have been paid to cause this heartbreaking moment. Also, it seems like whoever this was that she was dealing with may have also been a user. Anytime that she got to a point to where she got more work or she got on her feet, this is a person that would align with her right before she would get a job so that they could position themselves to use her. But it seemed like she was done with this energy, and this person wasn't going to be able to have the influence in her life that they had before. And it's like this was the bigger picture of why they were there, was to keep her docile, to control the narrative. But she was no longer allowing anybody to control her. She was taking control of her own life. This is like she was going to God. She was having her come to Jesus moment. This was definitely a Jesus take the wheel moment. She was taking her life back. And this led to deep regret and heartbreak to somebody that was very close to her, because they didn't want the gravy train to end, and they didn't want the embarrassment that could have slowed down anything that they were getting out of this situation. Queen of Pentacles. She had finally get to the point where she was getting stable And it took her a long time, but it's like she had to go off into other opportunities. And it feels like this is why she picked this book, to put this book out, because it got to the point to where it was hard for her to get work. So she decided to create her own opportunities. And part of her healing journey was to write down an account of everything that she had been through. So this started off as like therapy, to purge her soul for everything that happened to her, so that she could let it go and let go of the habits and the self-destructive energy. Because it's like, what she's been through made her hate herself. It made her face depression. It wasn't depression for anything that she had actually been through on her own. It was because of things that had happened to her. So she was laying down these burdens so that she could heal, so that she could free herself from the chains of all the stuff that happened to her. And this was why she wrote this book. I'm going to heal my heart and purge my soul through telling my story by selling this book. But her healing through facing the dark night of the soul by telling her story exposed somebody else that doesn't want to be seen. Two of Pentacles. She took this gamble against the word of her family, the Ten of Cups. Her family definitely did not want her to tell her story. I feel like there was a lot of, pushback with her deciding to write this book. And she may have dropped this book and they found out after it was out. Like they may have, thought that they convinced her to slow it down or whatnot, or, well, we'll work on her to convince her to not put this out and just like, let's look for just regular work. But she dropped this book and it's like, okay, it's mic drop, whatever. I put it out. What are you going to do about it now? It's my story. You can't tell me not to tell my story. And it just seemed like she was on a time clock from the time that they realized they could not control her anymore. It was just a matter of time. Will it be discovered what actually happened to her? The Emperor, the Page of Pentacles. This person is only worried about how this is going to affect them getting new work or being canceled. That's how you know these people are crazy. Not worried about prison or the law, anything like that. Worried about their status and being canceled. So they're only trying to figure out how they can escape this situation and get out of, whatever the consequences are from what happened on this boat. But it looks like Ten of Wands. The weight of the world is on everybody's shoulders now, and they can't just walk away like they used to anymore. God is pulling back the veil. Says she's now a free spirit. I just feel for her baby. That really makes me sad. Yeah. Well, she's swinging back from the clouds, y'all. And she got hands. So, it may not hit where people thinks it's supposed to hit, King of Cups, but she shook the damn table. Because it's a lot of people that feel some type of way now, but they're quiet because they don't know what to expect. Because here it is. This is the card of the back door. People who got caught doing something they had no business doing. And this is how they really manifest their wealth. Doing the sneaky things behind the scenes. Not the art, but the transport, allegedly. Damn. Ace of Wands. Two of Swords. Yeah, they wanted to cut her off from telling these explicit stories. And she wasn't going to stop. They couldn't control her. She literally was like, I'm taking control of my own life. I don't care what you're talking about. It's my story. You can't stop me from telling my story. Yeah, the wish fulfillment was to cause heartbreak. Her wish fulfillment brought them heartbreak, but their wish fulfillment was to cause this heartbreaking situation. The Hermit. because they knew they were going to have to face the dark night of the soul. These people didn't want to be canceled. They didn't want to be, you know, ostracized, but nobody cared about when she had to go through all of this stuff alone. She didn't have anybody but God to help her through this, and possibly a drink or whatever. And it's like, I want to lay down the, you know, the substance abuse, because, you know, I've been through the dark times. If I can beat this, then I can beat this. Yeah, poor baby. This is her cycle coming to an end, two of swords. Must be extinguished, must be cut off, cycle ending, it's over. So, yeah, I really feel like what she was talking about could have ended up being investigated and landed in Congress. And this is why they could not allow her to speak. How many people are going to be brought forward to speak in Congress? Yeah, this is, man. I give it to her. She got the heart of a lion, because she faced everything head on, face first, and it's like it's me against everybody, and I'm still gonna rock out and do what I do. It looks like even against her own family. It's really messed up, because it's like, how do you expect somebody to live with this type of trauma and pain, and they just gotta eat all of this trauma, all of this pain for your betterment? Why should she care more about you and how you look than what she cares about herself? At the end of the day, she's the only one that she has to make sure is good, because if she's not good, everything else in her life falls apart. Damn. She was finally putting herself first. And this is what got her stuck. They didn't know what to do. And they waited until they could put her in a situation where they caught her by herself. And when they caught her by herself, the Tower, 5 of Pentacles. This was a no-win situation. Yeah, it feels orchestrated. Like they waited until they caught her in a position to where she was with nobody. She had no help. And the Tower, it is no way from coming back from the Tower. You got the world and the Tower in the same sentence. They made sure she couldn't be resuscitated. I got to say, allegedly and for entertainment purposes only. So I hate to say it, but this is one of those things to where they may have waited a certain amount of time before they contacted anyone, because the brain dies anyway within a certain amount of minutes, like within 15 to 20 minutes, no matter what you do. Said Twitter has already pulled pics from her yacht story. They wanted her gone. Yeah, y'all, this literally feels like they made sure before they called the authorities, there will be no resuscitation. Make sure she's definitely not breathing. Make sure her heart stopped. You said the ex is the one that called the police, but they said the police had already been there hours before. Y'all. I feel like Twitter is the one that solved the case, and this is why the police came back and said we need to relook at this. Like the internet for the win on this one. And it feels like the reason why it had to be this way, to where they made sure she couldn't be resuscitated, because this feels like no face, no case. She can't testify. She can't say this. She can't wake up and, tell them what happened. And people will believe that this is a thing because she's battled with it in the past. Said the police was in on it. Could have been. Could have been. I'm not going to say it's not a probability, a possibility, but it definitely feels like this was something that was orchestrated to happen, and it was meant to make sure that all of her vitals were flatlined before they called anyone. They made sure that she could not be resuscitated. That's what this feels like. All things said are alleged and for entertainment purposes only, but yeah. I mean, think about that. It's like she was put in the chair and they just sat there and waited until, unfortunately, what looks like the necessary occurred. Think about it. If you're in a chair, right? What's the first thing that people do if you have a panic attack or, your sugar spikes with diabetes? Don't they sit you in a chair? Like you get woozy, don't they sit you down in a chair? So would it make sense that maybe something she drank or something she ate was laced and she felt kind of woozy and somebody said, come here and sit in this chair? And then, if you're taking someone's blood pressure or you're checking their pulse, don't you want them to be flat foot in the chair so that you can check their actual pulse to make sure that you're checking their true vitals? Just a question. Would you say the video about Vinted is being called exposing online? Ooh, trafficking ring, and the creator is name is Lucia. Child, they didn't that company just come out here? They exposed already. Damn, Lotto, you just they find all types of buses to throw you under. Said he gave the police a bag of pills that she allegedly took. But here's my thing. How in the world did you know where the pills were? Most people that off themselves taking pills, they usually put all the pills in their hand or you find them loose on the table. The pills are not still in the bag if you meant to off yourself. You take as many of them as you can with some liquor or whatever you can find, and you try to knock them down so that you can knock yourself out. And if she took all those pills, you mean to tell me that, when you were doing, you know, any type of medical assistance where, you may have been doing something to resuscitate her, right? You mean to tell me her stomach didn't, contract and she didn't get sick on the stomach because of poisoning? Because usually when you're poisoned, the body will expel whatever it is and you'll vomit until the body can get whatever it is out. So you mean to tell me she took all these pills, but while you're working on her, doing compressions, those compressions aren't causing a reaction to where her stomach contracts and she starts to get sick and vomit up the poison. There was no foaming of the mouth. Like there's signs that happens when somebody ODs. Like there's no foaming of the mouth. There's no throwing up. She didn't, excrete urine, like nothing. She was just sitting in a chair. Do that sound normal to y'all? I'm pretty sure each situation is different, but not one of those things happened. Like she didn't look blue or purple in the face, her lips look off due to, the poisoning. Like none of this was a primary thing. Nobody thought to put charcoal down her throat to neutralize whatever had her, you know, under the influence. No Narcan was used. Let's say she was fent bent. No Narcan was used. They said a bottle of Narcan was found near her. But was it already empty? Was that Narcan put there to make it look like they tried, but there wasn't a... Think about it like this. What if you empty out part of the Narcan, right? Just so you could make sure that you have enough trace amounts in her system to make it look like you tried to save her, but you made sure the dose wasn't enough to actually neutralize the poison. So it looked like you tried, but you knew that it wasn't enough to actually stop her from going into what may be like cardiac arrest or whatever could have possibly happened. Said them saying Narcan was found made it feel like a frame job, in my opinion. Like, when did Narcan stop working is all I'm asking. Because, like, you have, you know, you have officers who keep Narcan on them in case they find, you know, substances at a bust, or if they pull somebody over and they got fent in the car, because, you know, just to slightly touch it, it goes into your bloodstream and you can OD just like that. So you mean to tell me they trusted to save the police? The police have to have some in their squad car just for their own purposes, let alone for anybody that might need a first responder. So it works for them, but it didn't work in this situation. Why didn't it work? Why didn't it work? Chances are it didn't work because you allowed whatever was in her system to take over, gave it enough time for it to really take hold, and then you just did whatever you need to do for, you know, for measure to make it look like you tried, allegedly. So I wonder, is the alleged young woman the R&B princess that no longer is with us? No, that is a earth sign. This person is a water sign. Do I think things are going to come out attached to that person too? Yes, absolutely. That's going to be revisited as well, but as a separate entity. This is something that is way different, that, you know, exposes, you know, highways, byways, and freeways. You know, take that and do what you need to do with it. What happened to the other young lady could lead to a different type of RICO, more so like conspiracy. This one is bigger than just conspiracy. It's a full-blown operation that has been going on for decades, for generations. You said they only last 4 years. Is what if it was expired? That's a good question to ask. And think about it. If somebody knows that, and it comes out later that the reason why it didn't work is because it was expired, wouldn't somebody who uses it on a regular basis or knows about it knows about the shelf life? Said, and where were the kids during this? Well, she had lost custody to the father a while ago. It's like everything that had to do with her and family just was not good for her. So it's like she got forced into seclusion by herself. He said Miss Jenkins from Real Housewives of Beverly Hills been suing to keep her secret room 23 book since she's been on the show. Allegedly was a regular yachter. Well, we gotta say allegedly and for entertainment purposes only, but child, look at that. Yep, so she gave up custody of her daughter and was planning to see her on her birthday. That's another reason why I don't believe that she did that to herself. Yeah, she was, what I'm looking at is she was fighting to take her life back. She was taking back control of everything in her life. It just feels like everything was curated for her. And she finally got tired of other people making her choices because she was the only one that was suffering for them. She wanted to be in control of her own life. said her ex and her ex's brother were the only two people on the scene, and the brother was more torn up than the ex. Child, I told you this feel like love bombing. Somebody came through with the, well, we need to talk. You know, maybe I can apologize. And it feels like a family tie. So, you know, we don't know who it was, but if it's a baby daddy, then that's a 10 of cups as well, because you made a family with them through creating a child. Even if you're not together, that would still show 10 of cups energy, because it would still give bloodline energy, because it's the bloodline of your child. So we're going to have to wait to see how this investigation works out, but this just hurts, because it's like, damn, she was really fighting to have a better life, to heal, to free herself from everything that has ever held her back. And she was getting there, but they didn't want to let her do it. Said, I think her baby daddy was the only one innocent in this one. Well, somebody that was close to her, you know, tricked her into sitting down to talk. And it talked about, well, let's like repair our relationship. Let's have a heart to heart. That's what this feels like. She was love bombed into taking this communication from this person, and it went all left. I don't know where it is, but y'all, I hear a siren. It's like far off. And even with that, that lets me know that nobody expected this to even be a thing. When they heard about it being investigated, it was like, oh, okay, like that's internet lore. It's a rumor. And then it was like, oh shit, they really are looking. So, y'all, I'm going to end this part of the show, and I'll see y'all in about like 6 minutes for Twitch. Thank you for joining me for Allegedly Fridays here on YouTube, where all things said are alleged and for entertainment purposes only. And if you'd like to book a reading with me, please email me at angelkissestheoracle@gmail.com. A 30-minute reading is $44, an hour is $88. A ancestral reading is $111, and a criminal aid reading is $250. Yeah, this really just wow. Y'all, all I can say is, I don't care how much history you got with somebody. I don't care if you share blood with that person. If that person ever shows you that they have the propensity to be a snake, cut that person off and walk away. And do not feel bad about it, because you don't want to end up in a situation to where your heart leads you into a situation that could be an ambush, because you just don't think that these people could be that evil, that they couldn't do anything to you. You'll never know how deep someone's criminality or, you know, demonology can go. It's like, don't ever think that because you wouldn't do that to them, that means they wouldn't do it to you. Because I promise you, this isn't anything she would have ever done to anybody around her, but she definitely underestimated how far these people would go. And it's just sad, because nobody should ever have to think that the people around them could literally Cain and Abel them. But unfortunately, people have demons, and those principalities run deep. Never underestimate how strong a demon's attachment is to somebody. So I'll see y'all in Twitch in a minute, y'all. I gotta go make me a drink, because this one blew me. See y'all in a few minutes. And everybody, we're like, I want to say 74 people away from being at 1,000 on Twitch. So not too much further to go. Once we get to 1,000, y'all can finally pull all the videos up without me being live and go back and watch them in the archive. So we're not that far away. See y'all shortly. Good night, everybody.